Hello, everybody. Welcome to Irongeek Cast number 116, GOT, Game of Trolls. How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing great. It's wonderful Wednesday. We rocking out, having a good day. It was very nice outside. I even got a Capri Sun, y'all.
That's a very
So
nice
life was good. Yeah. Had to sip one of the little ones Capri Suns. I'm sorry, booby, but that I needed one.
cool. How about you, Jack? Or whatever you want. Tell us.
It's going well, same as always.
Hopefully,
Israel.
What's
Israel.
up?
Oh, there he is. Good. I was going to say we need him for the Bleach report because I'm lazy.
What are you talking about? Need him for the. I already got all stuff in there. Come on. Yeah, no, don't do that.
How's your day going, man?
Day went really well. Had some good calls. Some
Uh-huh.
people who are hopefully going to be securing their environments here very soon and
Look at that.
improving and moving forward. So yeah, good stuff. And my son's over here wanting to talk.
Hey, little one.
Ethan Charles says hi. Say, Uncle
Hey.
Charles says hi.
Hey, Ethan.
Or Grandpa Charles. I'm decided.
What, Grandpa?
I don't think. Actually, which one uses older? I forget.
Me, I believe.
I'm
But not by
39.
much. Yeah. And I am too, but I just 39
What'd
as of February.
Okay, 39 as of March.
Yeah, I thought I was a little bit older.
Yeah, probably like a day.
Yeah.
A couple. Yeah.
Well, I was
Less than a
born on
month.
February 29th, so
Ooh,
yeah.
March 20th. Okay.
I was close.
Yeah.
Whenever I was growing up, I always thought that would have been the coolest thing ever. Being born on leap day.
Yeah, I'm the last day of Pisces. So
Okay.
yeah, maybe that's the reason for my personality. I don't know. Maybe everybody's into the whole horoscope thing.
Yeah.
Can you try to figure me out? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't buy that shit.
I don't either.
Actually, I just saw something on Twitter. Someone was complaining to someone else. They said they don't believe in astrology bullshit. And then this other woman came in, I assume a woman, said that she has internalized misogyny because she doesn't believe in astrology.
Okay.
I don't get the I retweeted some of the shit, but I just like, what the hell is this about?
Yeah, the connection's weird.
Yes. That I definitely agree with. The connection's definitely weird.
Mm-hmm. So, Darren, how are you?
Decent, I guess.
Okay.
Same as always. My name's Eeyore.
No, I wouldn't call him Eeyore. He's more awesome than that. Jeez, give him something.
What? Oh, whoa. Are you trying to say Eeyore was not awesome?
No, he wasn't.
Did you just go there?
Aaron, listen. ER was not awesome.
Eeyore was awesome.
He was depressing, and Darren
he
was
the
depressing.
favorite at any pin the tail on the donkey game globally ever.
And Darren's nowhere near depressing. I'm sorry. I've seen depressing people.
That is true.
I got your back, bro.
You never know. Darren may be cool pin the tail on the Darren. Never know.
No.
No, I'm just tired as shit, so.
Get it off the chest, man. What's up? Why are you tired?
Well, no, I just didn't sleep for shit last night, so I'm exhausted.
It happens. I'm sitting here playing Bonk's Adventure and just thinking.
I don't know. I mean, the times that I can't sleep, I normally go for a run, and that normally would help. So.
Hey.
Yeah, sometimes you got to run. Sometimes you don't.
This is not an Almond Joy commercial.
That's exactly what I was thinking about.
Like, oh my goodness. No, he didn't do the Almond Joy.
Oh yeah, sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't.
Yeah, except I had to stop running. I had to stop running at certain hours because, black man wearing a hoodie and, running around
Oh
the
no,
neighborhood at
that's
night.
dangerous.
No, come on, Jack. You were up doing hood rat shit. You can say it. You're amongst friends.
No, I was not. No, I was really going for a run, and I didn't realize that that a couple blocks away, a guy had bailed out of a car during a high-speed chase.
What?
And,
Nice. And whenever you go for those it's good to have water and things like that. So if you were to carry like a little satchel, with some water, it's always good to have a credit card or two. If it's in your name or somebody else's, but make sure you're
Well, you also need some sugar, so you a pack of Skittles in there too.
exactly.
no.
You know what?
And little baggy. I mean, everybody always needs flour. You need little baggies of flour with you too.
No.
I mean, anytime you go for a run.
So that was the last time I went running out on the street.
Nice.
Next thing you know, they be calling him Cornbread and Earl. He was running down the street with his. Never mind. He's cornbread. Cornbread.
Come on,
Oh
come
shit!
on,
They killed Cornbread.
come on now. That was back. That was back when Lawrence Fishburne was known as Larry.
That's right.
That's a classic movie right there.
He was known as Larry.
Yeah, that was classic movie.
Oh,
Old
was
school.
that Pee-wee Herman's Big Adventure?
No,
Oh,
this was
not
before that.
Pee-wee's
This was before that.
Way before Pee-wee's
Wasn't
Playhouse.
Larry Fishburne like the cowboy? That was Cowboy somebody in that.
Cowboy
Yeah.
Curtis.
Cowboy Curtis on Pee Wee's Big Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a TV show at least. I don't know if he featured in the movie or not.
Nah.
That- That was probably a role he doesn't want to remember much about.
Probably not.
No, he's
Cowboy
fine with it.
Curtis? Yeah, he's fine with it. That was part of history. He's the reason why I learned so many different things.
You're
I learned that a cowboy can have a Jerry curl.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Both of him. This is skinny Lawrence Fishburne. He's in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 as an orderly, and he's also he's a sex lawyer in Cherry 2000, where he's negotiating sex between two people and making a contract up for him, and he's like the lawyer that helps do that.
Yeah.
And he's executive producer of Blackish now.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
There is a man who has successfully avoided typecasting. He has played a lot of different roles.
Yeah.
Someone who has done typecast. Joe Morton. You know who Joe Morton is?
Yes.
Miles Dyson in Terminator 2. Then he also played this scientist guy in Eureka for several seasons. And then he was Cyborg's dad who rebuilds Cyborg when he gets all fucked up in some kind of, was it a car accident or whatever in the Justice League movie?
Okay.
But anytime they want black scientist guy, they always cast Joe Morton.
What do you think about Samuel L. Jackson? I feel like he's kind of typecast outside of the Avengers.
That's because every role he's in is Samuel L. Jackson.
Yelling.
Well,
Yeah.
his Star Wars movie was...
Yeah, Star Wars not so much too, because that was PG-13 or whatever. But everything else, I feel like he's playing Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, even his Nick Fury though is kind of like a Shaft as a spy.
Yeah, that's true. They need to remake Shaft.
They already have. Well, actually, technically,
Really?
it's a sequel. Technically, who's the guy? Something Tree. This Tree.
Richard Roundtree.
Richard Roundtree. He played Shaft originally, and then he plays the Shaft in the 2000 movie's uncle. So technically, and he was the original Shaft. So technically, the Shaft movie with Jack. Shit, I'm not doing well. It's actually a sequel.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Samuel Jackson
Nice.
Shaft is technically a sequel.
Gotcha. But yeah, like on the Lawrence Fishburne side, John Wick 3 is going to be coming out, which I'm excited about. And, he was in there. And, I mean, he is honestly very versatile. He's done a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
What was that movie he played? He played the Hitman.
Oh, yeah.
What was that one? I haven't seen all of it. I only saw part of it. But yeah, it was a really good movie where he did a pretty good job playing a psycho.
Yeah. I definitely like him more in darker roles, because there's been some where he's in lighter roles, but I definitely like the darker ones more.
Oh, he was also in Ant-Man and the Wasp, wasn't he?
As what?
I can't remember the character's real name, He basically in the comic books, his character was Black Goliath.
Oh, okay.
You gotta remember in the 70s and 60s, every black comic book character they put black in front of it for some reason.
Actually, now I'm thinking about. I didn't see Ant-Man and the Wasp because I'm so like on the like. I liked his character in last couple Avengers, but you know, the straight Ant-Man movie. The first time I watched it, I fell asleep like 20 minutes in. Second time, I was like, it's okay.
I like this one. I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp. I thought it was pretty good.
Did you like it more than the first one, though?
Well, it's more fresh in my mind. The first one was very forgettable to me.
Oh, okay, good. Because that's how it was to me.
Yeah.
Well, so who remembers Michael Shanks?
Oh yeah, from Stargate TV
Yeah,
show?
yeah.
Oh.
Well, he played on the TV series. So yeah, he started off as this nerdy little weedy guy, and then he started bulking up, and later you saw him on Burn Notice playing an absolute fucking psycho. And
I like Burn Notice when I saw it, and I just like Campbell's in it. So
yeah.
Wait, on who do you play on Burn Notice?
Victor.
Which one's Victor?
He was in like season 3, I think.
Yeah.
He died near the end of season 3 on the boat.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Man, I used to love Burn Notice. Okay, cool. Yeah.
I loved a lot of stuff.
I like Burn Notice to the stinking point. Michael Weston, like the sunglasses he wore. I got a copy pair of those, and they're still my favorite sunglasses. And everyone went silent.
I'm off getting more vape juice.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. So the only reason why I know Michael Shanks is because of his wife.
Oh yeah, Lexi Dong.
Alexa Doig, yeah. Well, because they met on, I think they met on the cast of Stargate because she was on there, because she worked with someone else on Sci-Fi, and I think she was on, I think it was Andromeda.
Yeah.
So I think she knew one of the actors there and got referenced over there. It's like
Nice.
it's like back when Jack O'Neill, what's the actor's name? MacGyver.
MacGyver. I can't. I'm trying to think of his name too.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dean Anderson.
Yeah.
Mullet.
Yeah.
Mullet.
Anderson. Yeah. So he was on MacGyver, and was it Chris? With Teal'c, the actor him. I'm drawing a blank there now too. He was actually on MacGyver as well. So that's how they first met.
Man, I am like, my wife is really good with people's names. You guys are apparently halfway decent. Way better than me with actual actors and actresses' names. I don't have a freaking clue about.
Well, I just spaced on Samuel L. Jackson's name, even though we just said his name several times. So everybody has brain farts from time to time.
Yeah, but like totality, I think a lot of people could probably name actors and actresses, probably like 300-400 of them. If they saw pictures of them. If I see pictures of them, I can probably name 50 to 75 at best.
Oh, by the way, Lexa Dong, she was also in Jason X, which, as silly as the concept is, Jason X is a hell of a lot of fun as a movie, I think.
I like the majority of the Jason movies, so.
Me too.
6 and 7 are probably my favorite. 6 had more humor. 7 had the bet. Was when Kane Hodder took over as Jason for 3 movies, and he just 4 movies, because he was in that 8. Jason X. He was also in Jason Goes to Hell before that. Unfortunately, they didn't cast him into Freddy vs. Jason, but he had a certain physicality about it, and the makeup in Part 7 was the best of all the Jason makeups.
They should do now. Jason Takes Manhattan was hilarious when he knocked that dude's head off until the canvas turned.
The movie generally sucked, but that part was funny. And also the part where the hood looks like getting him shit because he kicked the radio, and I'll get them take a switchblade to him, and he like pulls up his mask, and you don't see it on mask, and they're like, "Oh wait, we're good."
Nice. Conferences. Anybody do anything this upcoming week?
This weekend, I'm going to B-Side Charm.
Okay, so Adrian will be at Charm.
So I got NolaCon, I think, the month after that. I'm cutting back. The most cons I did one year was 24. It's probably going to be more like 15 to 17 this year.
Nice.
But the main one, hey, and just to remind people of cons, Derby Day's coming up soon, y'all.
Yeah, like what, 2 weeks or so from now?
Ooh,
Yep.
Yeah.
May 5th, is it?
Yeah, hold on. Let me.
Yes.
I
May
think.
5th.
No, it's May 4th.
May
4th.
4th.
Okay, May
Okay.
4th. So
I
that's
knew it was
Saturday.
somewhere around there.
And
That's Saturday, May 4th. Yes.
starting last year, Dave was no longer doing the 15 minutes early release thing. However,
Right.
just in case,
What?
I said just in case. Well, you don't have to worry about it because you're on videos crew.
Yeah.
But in previous years, before 2017's thing,
Yeah.
normally Dave would always release the tickets 15 minutes before the time. But then
No,
on
not this time.
2017, I think we sold out before the official start time was, and people were pissed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Are they still doing Eventbrite?
I believe so.
well,
I mean, because they kind of did testing last year, so I figured. I mean, last year sold out in a stupid low amount of time, but don't necessarily need to be testing prior all that much. So
Right.
there's a chance there will be full tickets. I mean, and whenever they test, it's not like we're doing half the ticket sales and testing. You know, they were doing small batches and small amounts, but
Yeah, we went over classes here recently. I'm not sure when we're going to go over speakers. Probably not for another month or two. And I got to get planning on a possible replacement con. Although there's been some doubt about the name I chose.
yes. Yes.
I'll talk to you offline about that, Charles.
Yeah.
Because I understand the market and having sponsors would help. At the same time, I want the con to be very clearly, please, no bullshit.
Well, you can say that in a statement and not
wait, like
really
a
talk about it.
like a code
But
of
then
conduct or something?
who reads a mission statement?
No, not in the mission statement as you're doing like a keynote or where you're talking about, what the con is all about and what you expect to see and what you don't want to see. Like set the tone early as opposed to nobody reads mission statements. Nobody reads anymore. I'm surprised libraries are still around, but I'm just saying in general.
Charles, I feel a little berated right now just because you're bringing it up live on air that I don't know how to read. I'm feeling pretty bad right now.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna send you to this account that can brighten your day. It's called.
Will it be something I have to read?
Well, no, it's actually. No, it's called on Twitter. He is called BSD Bandit on Twitter. Maybe that could brighten your day just a little bit.
Oh yeah, is that the guy who just talks and stuff and is overtly ambitious in the morning and looks like he's done 5 lines by the time he's woke up?
Oh, that's what they're thinking? Oh my god.
Oh, it could be a different dude. Yeah, it could be completely different.
You mean 5 lines of code, not 5 lines of something else.
Oh,
Yeah, code. Yeah, that's what I was.
Oh, that's what they call it?
By the way,
Yeah.
Charles, what do you think they named Lotion Con instead?
You know what? Never mind.
Charles will be a keynote every single year.
No.
Have you been on my Twitter recently? Because I went out there and posted this company called Sonic Thick. They produce lock picking ish tools and escape tools and stuff like that. They recently released at some point they released an escape kit that's oddly shaped and comes with petroleum jelly packet.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, that was
Who released?
definitely an
Something
interesting item.
TIHK or something like that. The first thing they made that was well known was these plastic keys, the plastic handcuff keys, which by the way were real easy to share. I don't recommend them. But now they're putting out other sorts of stuff like little miniature lockpick kits that don't look particularly useful. But they had this escape kit that is shaped like a dildo. And it comes with a petroleum jelly packet.
I was thinking it was shaped more like something to go in the other crevice.
Exactly. Well,
yes.
I mean, suitcase and items is very common.
Prison wallet.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Keista stash.
Yeah.
I knew a guy who used to have the name. Oh, this guy he used to use the handle Keista stash, and then he said, "Well, I used to go by the name something, but I thought that sounded gay." I'm like, dude, come on.
Hey, I don't know. Never mind.
Nice.
And this is the AOL day. We have a guy called Butt Raker on AOL. Yeah, he was on AOL.
Ah, the good old days.
Mm.
All right.
Anyway,
here we go.
Yeah.
This is the escape kit. Comes with 4 lock picks, bend to fit tension wrench, handcuff,
CUMs.
That tension wrench, that's how you get it up in there.
But no, how you get up there is this petroleum jelly thing you got right here.
I don't know.
God,
Well, that's what it says, or wherever you can keep it hidden.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Tension wrench.
Including in the order, but not fitting inside the module, is a small petroleum packet for just about any survival use you can imagine.
Survival.
Oh
God.
yeah, I'm gonna live for days off of that petroleum jelly. Yeah.
Also sold separately, battery operated motor.
Oh, and it includes Bluetooth.
But it really needs a flared base.
Yes.
That's the most important thing about it.
Well, no, but then they'd be able to find it easier by a quick visual examination. They don't have to put the finger up there. Also, apparently the case is made out of magnesium, so you can shave it off and use it as a fire starter.
So it does have dual purpose.
Yes.
Tri-purpose. Okay.
I'm not sure how well that would work as a fire starter if it's been in your ass and coated in petroleum jelly.
Did it come with any wet wipes?
Not that I see.
Okay. Oh, that's special. I can think of some people who would definitely acquire that though. Happily. And do free testing. And I'll leave that at that. The one thing I did want to say, let's see, FSI ISAC. I don't know what it stands for. FSISAC. It's going on next week in Florida, in Orlando. I'll be there. If you're there, show up. Love to chat here and there. So, yep, I'll be there. And with that, we'll move over to the breach report. Bum, bum, bum. Everybody still here?
I'm here.
Okay, good.
Yep.
First up, anybody hear about this one? Weather Channel goes offline for an hour. Like actual Weather Channel cable television show. So they got hit with ransomware. Took quite a few of their systems offline, but it only took them offline for an hour, which I was fairly surprised at. They were able to restore from backup, get all the systems back up and going that were affected, that brings in their money. And, 90 minutes, okay. A little over an hour. But, yeah, they were hit with ransomware, and their backups were halfway decent, efficient, and they were back up in a very small time frame, or short time frame. Anybody got anything to add to that? Nope. Okay. And anybody watching, hey, lack shit. I hope that is the appropriate pronunciation. And Dark Owl, glad to see you over on YouTube. And for anybody else who has not commented on YouTube, down below Adrian on the left side says Adrian Crenshaw, show notes, docs.google. You can follow along with anything that we're talking about here. So, next up, bodybuilding.com. So, how many people here have an account with bodybuilding.com?
Actually, I think I do. I don't know if I've ever ordered any actual products from them, but I have an account on the forum. Is that what you mean, or is it talking about for sales?
Honestly, I think they have it separated out between forum and sales. I hope, because I know on the forum I do. I don't think I do on the sales side. And apparently, their sales side was compromised, and they sent notification to everybody of the compromise. So I didn't receive any notification, to change passwords and whatnot. So I'm taking that they actually do have them separated out. But yes, bodybuilding.com was breached, and they have advised all their membership, at least sales side that we know of, to reset their passes. And let's see. So the breach occurred February of this year, and they engaged one of the leading data security firms, which they did not state who that is, because I'm always curious, who the current leading organizations are, to conduct a thorough investigation, which traced the unauthorized activity to a phishing email received received in July 2018. So between July 2018 and February 2019, I mean, we're talking what, 8 months? The breach went unknown, and they said that their investigation could not rule out that personal information may have been accessed. So hopefully this is just on the sales side. And they didn't say whether or not they store credit card data. But some of the information that could have been included was names, email, billing and shipping address, phone numbers, order history, and communications from bodybuilding.com, as well as dates of birth and other data included in body space profiles. So if the hacker really wants to go out and start shaming people, they can. Oh, actually, it does say specifically they do not store full payment card numbers. So that's good. But two, Adrian, you're on the forums. I'm on the forums. Anybody else here on the forums?
I'm on the forums because they can get a bit trollish, so that's right up my alley. Sorry.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I've seen forum posts move over into other areas that have nothing to do with bodybuilding, but normally more on the Tinder side. So yeah, it definitely can get interesting here and there. Next up, we have, oh yes, allegations made in regard to a Chipotle website breach. And Chipotle has not publicly acknowledged this as of yet, but many customers have gone to Reddit advising that, and they've even broken it down. And TechCrunch, as who did this story? Zach. Yeah, Zach did the story that they've been in contact with quite a few of these customers that they validated the customers did not utilize, or at least the customer said, the same password on multiple sites. Like, so these are getting to customers that actually are somewhat security conscious, not duplicating passwords, only one password on one site. And now we're starting to see quite a few customers stepping forward and saying, yeah, my credit card is being used to make purchases that I have not authorized, I did not make. And kind of the central point is Chipotle, where they utilized Chipotle's website, ordered stuff, and now pop. So Chipotle has most likely their website been compromised. There's nothing to say that it is still compromised or not. It is, what's that cat stuck in the box? Anybody.
Are you talking about Schrodinger's cat?
Yes. Chipotle's website currently is Schrodinger's cat. So it may be compromised, it may not. We currently do not know. But they have had breaches in the past. Hopefully they learn from that, but we'll see. Because right now it's looking like they have been breached. We just don't know if they still are. Next up, data has been stolen from a Mexican embassy in Guatemala. This one's kind of interesting. It's on Bitdefender. So, a hacker has exposed confidential files and correspondence from Mexican embassy in Guatemala, over 5,000 confidential documents. And I honestly did not look into this. Whenever they say confidential, I don't know what the level of security is on this. We have secret, top secret, whatnot in regard to classifications. And I don't know where these confidential documents lie in that list, or it could even be lower than secret. So, yes, Jack.
Oh, I was just gonna let you finish, but when it comes to confidential classification, it's one step above unclassified.
Okay.
So then you have confidential, secret,
Yeah,
top
but
secret.
what I was saying is the article doesn't really try to map it as to if these documents are the same classification of confidential as the U.S. would say, is confidential.
Possibly.
Yeah, I mean it could be, and not saying it is or isn't. We just know they're stating it's confidential. So, um, this included personal information of Mexican citizens and diplomats, including photocopies of passports, birth certificates, visas, payment cards, and information about immunities, privileges, medical expenses, and their operational data.
Yeah, that's definitely confidential.
Yes. I would say so and hope so. But yeah, that was quite a nice little hit. And the hacker was on Twitter at 0x55 Taylor, capital T. And I think they have a backup account because I actually went ahead and followed them and the backup account. So they are live on Twitter. You can see what they're doing and go from there. And lastly, on the breach report, we have rehab records being stolen. And millions of rehab records leaked, including patient names. And whenever there's millions of records, that doesn't necessarily mean a one-to-one. So they're saying it's approximately 150,000 people that these millions of records are attributed to. And so somebody was able to compromise, and this was CNET originally reporting, I believe. But 4.91 million documents included patient names as well as details of treatments they received. Each patient had multiple records in the database, and they estimate that it affected about 145,000 patients. And rehab's definitely interesting when it comes to the medical context. They still fully fall under HIPAA and everything else, but I kind of see rehab as the same line as plastic surgery, types of stuff. You guys agree?
No, because I mean it depends on what you're going to rehab for. Like if you're susceptible and say let's just say you have sex addiction and
Yeah, but that's still something that society doesn't see as the norm. Whenever a celebrity goes and gets plastic surgery, they oftentimes won't advertise that. They try to keep it on, keep it low and not advertise it out. And
or
rehab's the same type of thing, though, too.
or say you go to rehab and cleaned out because you got drug addiction. I mean,
Yeah,
and let's just say that was 10 years ago. Would you want people knowing what you were up to 10 years ago or not? I mean, it depends.
and that's what I'm saying is that I see rehab at least say from a hiring perspective or whatnot similar to a plastic surgery. For movie stars, plastic surgery is kind of a given for a lot of them, but you also want to be that natural beauty, And with rehab, you don't necessarily want people to know that you went through rehab. You want them to see you for who you are now as opposed to what it took to get you there, even though it may have been tough and difficult. I actually know somebody who's gone through rehab and she's doing really, really awesome now. And she's been good for, I think it's been about 2 years now. But in the same sense, she's glad for what she's done, what she's gone through, but she doesn't want somebody to look on her in a negative context knowing that she was in rehab. That's where I'm kind of drawing that parallel is, if you went to the hospital or something and you broke your leg, playing soccer, like nobody's ever going to think about making a hiring decision based off that. But in Hollywood with plastic surgery or just work in general with rehab, somebody could try to make a hiring decision, and even though you're not supposed to, um, it's very difficult to prove that they are not uh, making a decision based on that. Yes, no? Am I off in my own world right now?
I would think that people wouldn't want that to be known. No, yeah.
Yeah. But
I don't want people
yeah,
to know about my sex addiction rehab.
I know we know the whole. I about said furry thing. I was going to mention
All these
turtles.
unsolicited pictures of their feet. I just can't help it.
Exactly, turtles and hedgies. I mean, yeah, I get it. So, yes, those were leaked. They're out there. Yeah. So hopefully nobody is negatively affected by it, but there have been leaked information. And that's all we have for breach.
All right, let's see what else we got in the notes. All right, this is one I'm a little bit ignorant on. Other people can help me. We got a weird group of the week this time. It was suggested, I think, last week by, was it Liz that suggested it or someone else? Or Jew?
I said something about it, but
All
I
right.
think it was a combined effort.
And I'm still a little confused about this group, if it's even a group. There's QAnon, which is basically, Q apparently is a security level clearance, and supposedly revealing secrets about the deep state and pedophile rings, and they were partly behind the whole Pizzagate thing, but
Yeah.
mostly it's all conspiracy theory shit with some creepy shit thrown in that makes you think. But I've also been told by our illustrious partner in crime here, Jack, that it was a money-making scheme, and I'm not quite sure how they made money. Oh, so you said something about what GoFundMe's and so forth?
Yeah.
So basically, they were saying help the project by giving us money as GoFundMe's, and they leak out various information of dubious origin.
And this isn't necessarily a was. I mean,
It's
this is
still going on.
still, it's still going on. I know people who, and I don't, sorry for anybody watching who regularly watches all the QAnon stuff and, thinks it's coming directly from Trump. I don't watch it, but I know probably at least 10 people who do on a regular basis. And we're not even talking like people in our security community. This is people in Columbus, Ohio, people in the suburbs of Columbus, people out in the country, So I don't think it's a small thing. Like, I think there's a very
and they have a group of people that follow it.
yeah, definitely.
I remember some Trump rallies. Wasn't someone holding up posters and shit that said QAnon this and QAnon that?
Yeah, I saw that's happened at I think at least 5 or 6 that I've seen. Yeah, and they'll be in the background somewhere, and you see that QAnon stuff.
So have they released anything that actually got any credence?
Yes and no. It's, from my perspective, similar to a fortune teller or a mentalist that is doing something that has such a high probability of occurring. That's the type of stuff that they're releasing.
So it's like if you say a politician, a used car salesman, or a university admin is a crook, there's probably a good chance that the person's a crook.
Yes. Yeah, like they're going and saying things that have such a high probability of occurring and then oh boom, they happen. You know, it's not like they're making crazy outlandish thoughts and statements, but they're doing the research. As far as I've seen, just you never know. There have been some stuff they've been 100% off with, but there's been other things they've been perfectly aligned with. But they're more often aligned with, you know, accurate statements and things that actually do occur in the future. But I think that's because it's a group who actually follows Trump, understands what he's doing, and goes down that road. I'll be right back.
His dog got into the lotion.
Yeah, I have somebody at the front door.
Yeah, I don't have much else to say about I saw some of the conspiracy theory stuff, and I don't have negative or positive feelings one way or the other. Just looking at articles, read a little bit in Wikipedia. Also noticed that what is it? Rational Wiki had an article entry on it, but whenever Rational Wiki has an article entry on something, usually they're full of shit too. So the Rational Wiki is not particularly rational. But yeah, the kind of conspiracy theory things might be interesting, but I don't know much about the group. If anybody has ideas for future weird groups of the week, let me know, and I'll stencil them in. But I'll have to do a little research on them. All right. Well, we probably want to wait till Israel gets back on this because I've only done a little bit of research on the malware tech blog thing, and apparently he's in some shit. He did a plea deal. I'm not sure what the plea deal amounts to. Admitting guilty. There's been a big hubbub on Twitter about forgiveness and not forgiveness, and how bad was what he did, and if he did it as a teenager, it'd be one thing, but he's not a teenager anymore, and so on and whatnot. I've seen some people saying about, we're all tearing each other apart, from people who are kind of hypocrites because they tear other people apart on different issues. I don't really know what the hell to think about it. I understand that malware tech, he did something silly, like he was on the phone to his boss while in jail, knows the shit was going to be recorded, and he essentially admitted to doing some shit. Does anybody have any details on that?
Yeah, I mean, you know how it goes in the UK. I mean, they have no expectation of privacy whatsoever.
That's all the more reason not to say shit on the phone.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's whatever. I mean, fuck, they were going to get one way or another, but it's like when most federal charges. They're going to apply the pressure, and they're going to give you this. They're going to throw these numbers at you, which people call the boat, which stands for a boatload of time, or football numbers, which basically means years and years and years. Like, you're looking at 20 just off the top, and federal conviction rate. So yeah, his best move was pretty much to accept the plea deal. So he might be looking at less than 5 as opposed to the 20.
Yeah, someone was saying a lot of people go for plea deals even though they're not guilty. But according to what I've heard, he admitted to some shady shit on the phone.
He did. He was in questioning and he admitted to it. So, like I said on someone on Twitter, once he made that admission, he really has no choice to take a plea deal because otherwise it's going to be a guilty verdict. That's pretty much a slam dunk for any decent prosecutor.
From what I read, it was like when he was in prison, he was allowed to make a phone call. He made a phone call, and on the phone that he was told ahead of time was monitored, he'd said, "Yeah, I did some shady shit beforehand. I sold this malware for money when I needed money." He said the freaking thing on the phone.
Shit. Well, I guess his OPSEC isn't particularly good.
Well, I mean, he was scared and did stupid shit. That said, I actually did talk briefly with someone from the DOJ about that last August. I found out a little bit of clarification because the initial press at the time was saying that the arresting officer tried to get him denied bail because he went shooting with guns, and guns are dangerous. It shows he's unhinged.
Okay, now that's bullshit. Especially,
but that was how it was reported, that because he went to a shooting range that was advertised everywhere, that done in some places in Vegas. So I found I got clarification on was that his visa actually prohibited him from using guns, and that's what they were. That's what was trying to be argued in court to try to deny him bail. Not that I think. Not. Well, I do agree with the judge that. I do agree that the judge's decision to not deny bail, but still.
Well,
this-
I mean,
Go ahead.
well, look, Liz, have you ever faced charges?
No.
Basically, the onus is on law enforcement. So basically, any way that they can put you in a trick bag and control your situation, control your movement, they will do.
So I'm aware of this. At the same time, the DOJ has tried to take measures to stop being seen as massive pricks to the hacker community.
I mean, it's not nothing against hacker community. It's every aspect. I mean, the charges that I was facing, and it was bullshit at that. Yeah, they did whatever they could to try to get me to open up about it, and it didn't break. Some people just aren't built like that.
Well,
Jack's a
yeah.
brick house.
I'm sure a lot. That just. I'm sure all you need to say is, "I wish to speak to my lawyer." Is that all you say when you're in custody?
But then you know what they do? They say, "Oh, okay. Well, you lawyer it up. Well, we'll leave you here for about 12 hours, maybe 16, in this room by yourself, freezing cold, and forget about you. And then maybe eventually your lawyer might show up."
So, is that under the understanding that you get what that would imply you give them the contact information for the lawyer, and they maybe call 14 hours later?
No.
Is that what happens?
No, they just throw you off to the side and eventually hope that maybe you'll sign that waiver and just get it over with.
Okay. Do they at least let you go to the bathroom if you need to?
No.
Under supervision.
Well, that's
yeah.
That's to be expected.
I
I just don't know how far they go in that kind of circumstance.
Sorry, I had to leave and come back. Who were we talking about?
I believe Malware Tech Blog.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thankfully, because a lot of the news coverage he got has been positive in general, that he probably has a decent chance of getting a job after he gets out of prison.
Well, of course he's going to do he's going to do his time in jail, and then he's going to do the fucking shitless circuit afterwards.
The maximum that he's looking at now is 10 years. I mean, max. Before, they were looking at like 30 to 50, somewhere in that range.
Well, no, he can still face the maximum, but usually
a reported maximum doesn't typically get hit, from my understanding.
Exactly. Deal, yeah. Usually you don't, but I mean, in theory, you can.
He could get 10, but
the DOJ representative who's come to B-Sides Las Vegas and DEF CON, one of his main points he kept trying to stress was that the sentencing guidelines has to be followed with regard to how much time someone's actually put to go to jail. It's rare. He emphasized rarely is it the maximum. I'm not trying to defend the system. I'm just stating devil's advocate there.
As well as, I won't say he's already done time served, but
yes, actually, it was reported that time served does subtract from his sentencing time. Maybe I misread it, but that was what I recall reading.
He was incarcerated for a small amount of time. It wasn't an extended amount, though, right?
True.
I know he was still on house arrest during the whole thing.
And that's what I was going to say is they will most likely, at minimum, take that house arrest, over the last 2 years into account. So instead of even looking at 10, we're probably looking at 8, and then wherever it goes down from there.
So 10 years, my understanding, is the maximum time per charge.
Yeah, because they already dropped all the other charges.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
So if it's the single,
cumulative.
yeah, I sincerely doubt he would get a maximum charge. From my
Exactly.
understanding, there has to be a willful intent to harm,
Yeah.
and be unrepentant.
Yeah. And
I'm
even on
guaranteed.
his website, he posted out like, I effed up, you know. He didn't say that, but I screwed up. And he was admitting to what he did. I mean, I honestly, I don't think he will get more than probably 4 or 5 at the most, at the very most.
This
To-
is just
gone are the days
regardless.
where you pull a complete clusterfuck and are able to get parole and hired on by the NSA and whatnot. Like, I don't
God,
think
no.
that happens anymore.
So from what I was, from some people who have mentioned, it's the standards are much higher for that kind of stuff. From my understanding,
I mean, but Granted Chronos is still out there live and working and doing its thing.
although it's, anyways,
I mean, it's been severely severed, but it's still out there trying to propagate. It's not like it ever died. It's still out there and can be found.
Plenty of malware like that.
Yeah.
I forget what kind of. It's not peer-to-peer malware, is it?
No.
Botnet. I mean,
No. It. If I remember right, I think it's been like 2 years, but I think it does self-propagate and starts doing open scans looking for other victims that are vulnerable to it.
I just tend to think the DOJ probably could have avoided a lot of controversy if they just would have waited a fucking year. Because honestly, the timing is also what got a lot of the pushback. It's, yay, he saved everyone from.
yeah, I get you.
And the DOJ, and now the impression people get is, if you have done something shady in your past, don't ever do something that would ever get public attention on you. Because I'll be entirely honest, I'm sure other people think the same thing. It did all the press coverage on him result in people looking at result in additional inspection to his past that otherwise would not have happened? I have no idea. But that's the impression.
There is a good chance there.
Well, that's kind of what Brian Krebs did, because when there was information about him, Krebs did a pretty deep dive into his background.
Yeah.
That's what Krebs does, so yeah.
Yeah, he does a lot of things.
Well, I mean, he is pretty thorough in his investigative work. I'll at least give him that. So,
or at least the people who do the investigations.
He's thorough in his reporting.
Yes.
So yeah, it's I don't know. Just I don't know practically what impact this will have on the DOJ's attempted outreach to InfoSec community or hackers. Because honestly, I don't really understand much of the dynamics there, or what the desired end goal from the DOJ really is. For those listening, you don't quite understand what I'm talking about. Shortly after Aaron Torch's death by suicide, the DOJ, specifically a DOJ representative, Leonard Bailey, has been coming to B-Sides Las Vegas and DEF CON and Black Hat. He travels between B-Sides Las Vegas and Black Hat. For the past 2 years, he's been he's being the DOJ representative, trying to outreach the hacker community and trying to explain things from the DOJ's perspective. He has done things such as, I think this is a keynote at Black Hat, but he publicly stated that the DOJ would no longer go after people who do an internet-wide port scan, unless they're DDoSing.
Really?
Yes, he did that.
That is sweet. I didn't realize they actually came out and said that.
Yes, they said that. It's DOJ representative said that publicly.
Nice. Okay.
This is a few years ago, like 4 years ago. And
Okay, time to release the Kraken.
yeah, he has, and here's where some of the mistrust of him comes in to play. A few years ago, he talked about a new rule at the Department of Justice where any new Computer Fraud and Abuse Act prosecutions, any prosecutor wants to go ahead and do a CFAA charge, are recommended to go to DOJ headquarters where the for consultation before going forward. By saying the DOJ headquarters, that would necessarily imply it would go to Leonard Bailey for his recommendation. Now, a lot of people took his statement as kind of an assumption that this is a new requirement, or that people in the DOJ who want to advance would do what headquarters asks them to do. And for those who don't know, there is like offices for the DOJ in every state, and prosecutors in any of them can initiate charges independent of what headquarters says. So what happened in Malware Tech's blog case, from my understanding, if I recall correctly, is that the prosecutor went ahead, did not get consultation from DOJ headquarters because it's not actually a requirement. It was a recommendation. And by recommendation, the DOJ, apparently Leonard Bailey was very literal when he stated that. That it was only a recommendation to the prosecutors. And though he did say that in the Meet the Feds after party, he also expressed out loud that, we can't just ignore crimes that happen.
I mean, wait, come back. You just said that with a straight face. No giggle, no nothing. What did you just say?
The DOJ representative said, what would you expect us to do?
No.
You can't just expect us to ignore crimes that happen.
Before that. The Meet the Feds after party. Come on.
Yes, I know. It's at besides Las Vegas. Yes, I know. It's kind of is. Yeah, it's typically held in Jack Daniel's hotel room.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know why more. He serves some nice drinks. I honestly don't know why more people don't go to it, because the people you talk to are kind of high up in the whole thing.
Jack is one of the coolest individuals. And honestly, if you ever get a chance to sit down with Jack and talk to him, take that opportunity. You will probably not talk about anything security related, because Jack reminds you of everyone who is not a security professional whenever he just sits. Like, if you question about security stuff, yeah, he'll talk about it. But he is just a cool guy to sit down and talk to. It's like talking to your great uncle or, your great grandfather or something. He just has story after story, and they are all like awesome. It's like sitting down with somebody who's like, in my case, has passed away, but I wish I could sit down and talk to them again, type of thing. Like, Jack just has awesome stories.
I've only heard one of his stories. Apparently, back he used to be a protester during the Vietnam era, and he says that he is pretty certain there was an FBI file on him as a result.
Oh, there's quite a few, yes.
Oh, I've no doubt.
I mean, like the last time that I was talking, because, most of us are a little on the younger side, under, for everyone on this cast, under 45, in security. Jack is past that, and, and we also view Tinder as kind of a younger person's thing. Like, I'm not single or dating, married. But even whenever I was not married, I found next to no value in Tinder. I'm older. But Jack is, or at least last time I spoke to him, he may be getting married and hitched now. I don't know. But last time that I spoke to him, he was on Tinder. And I was like, holy crap, really? Like, so people actually use it for regular types of dating. And, yep, apparently they do. So, more power to them. And there are people that are above the age of 45 who are also on Tinder. I
Yes.
didn't realize that was really that much of a thing. Like, because I see Tinder just as a freaking hookup app, you know?
Uh, yeah, but you got to do the wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know.
Apparently, but there's also this like subculture on Tinder who are not the like straight hookup side. Like they are the we want to have a relationship and everything else. So cool.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Tinder in our age group, it's
Yeah.
it's always the women saying, I'm totally not here for a hookup. But you gotta
Okay.
play. But you gotta play the game, and first date. You wind up, yeah.
Gotcha.
Or they're looking for that anchor baby, so you gotta be careful there too.
Not always.
Well, I mean, Jack did play 5 years in the NBA. So ladies, I mean, right there.
Wait, what? Jack was in the I have no idea.
No, Jack was not in the NBA.
It's like a thing. I had no idea.
Liz, you are adorably gullible. I'm gonna have fun with that.
What? I mean, I did hang my jersey up. It got retired.
Hey, grade school does not count in this conversation. Come on.
Come on now. I took my game international. So say what you want.
There you go. Military side. I
Just
get it.
saying, there's a lot of very weird people who come from very unorthodox backgrounds in InfoSec. So, I try to keep a very open mind these days.
I do too, but just like if we're talking about Tinder or something, like honestly, Jack was the first person who was, again, I'll say 45, above that age that I ever had heard of using Tinder. But, conversating with him, I found out apparently it's not that irregular of a thing. Like, there's a lot of people in all age ranges using Tinder.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, and using it for, different purposes. Some, obviously, the younger people are using it for hookups. But
good for anything other than hookups, because pretty much it's most superficial. I mean, all dating sites are bad, but it's very superficial because the main thing that people even look at is what your photo looks like. And as beautiful as I am, I haven't had much luck on Tinder.
Well, for him, he, because he speaks at a lot of conferences and goes from here to there, he just liked companionship and being able to go out on a regular date, be able to go out to a restaurant and have a nice meal, with somebody. And
Jack is a pretty man.
He is not that bad looking. Yeah, I'd give you that one.
You've seen those stats on dating sites though, where they do a ranking of what men rate women, what women rate men.
Oh, it's rough.
Yeah, men have this even distribution where most women average in like the 5-6 category.
Yeah.
Women rate men. I think this is from OkCupid. 80% of men are below average.
Oh, that sucks.
The funny thing is, I don't totally understand that because I look around in the real world, as far as physical attractiveness is, I've seen a lot more physically unattractive men with pretty attractive women than I have seen the reverse. Like, I very rarely see a Brad Pitt with a Rosie O'Donnell, but I have seen a fair number of Drew Carey's with, I don't know, maybe not quite Scarlett Johansson, but something in that ballpark. So, I don't know. I think that the online dating world is an entirely different affair from the college meetups and other things.
Well, but too, I mean, if you look into it, oftentimes women, as a journal, I'm not saying all women, but women will focus more on personality and traits and whatnot.
Oh, bullshit.
No, I agree. Initially, physical attraction has to be there, but past that one initial physical attraction, then it goes down the road of personality and traits.
Bullshit.
If you are to look at any scientific study, I don't give a crap what you look at. That's how it goes. And men, though, take the physical traits much higher than the women do. for them to actually be compatible, yeah, the other items have to line up. But women across the board, because you just have to look at all the data. There's usually about a equal amount men to women. You know, that's how things work. And yeah, men across the board judge the physical side and continue to do the physical side past, everything. Like the physical side for men is the highest. Personality and everything else is in the running, but physical traits for what they're attracted to is the highest. For women, they have to be physically attracted to them, but that is not the primary thing. Once they get past that, am I physically attracted to you or not? Then it actually goes to just personality and all the other traits. And there are just a stupid amount of research that's been done into that. You just got to get past that first barrier as a male. Am I a little attracted? And there's studies that have been done too, where initially the woman was not attracted to a guy, physically, but in an office environment or a friendship or whatnot, her level of physical attraction to him rose due to their personality. And I'm married, so I don't care anymore, but yeah. So there's hope for everyone.
It happened to a cousin of mine. But so he found a girlfriend. She initially was not very physically attracted with him, but she became enamored by him, his personality, and they ended up getting married. Though, yeah, I'm getting divorced shortly afterwards. But anyway, they did initially get married, though. There was the initial increase in attraction due to his personality.
Yeah, and in the same sense, that's why, whatever sex you are, you have to. Wait 1 second. Okay, he is upstairs. You really need to get to know a person. In the past, I've said and Jack can attest, if you do not have arguments or fights, that is an issue, a sign to dig deeper. Because if both of you are staying so high level on the water that you're not going down real deep to find out what differences you have, that's going to be a really tough spot whenever you finally do get to that point. Because it's not just, as well as a willingness to really stay in a relationship, whether you're boyfriend, girlfriend, or other of the 40 things that are quantified now, or married. Getting to fully know a person and you doing the homework and figuring out, okay, am I going to be able to stay with this person forever? It's tough and difficult, but if that's something you want, you got to put that time and work into. And Dark Owl, you are 42. I meet new. Okay. Okay, it's a nice house, but having a lot of flavors out there. And you don't use dating apps. That's cool. For some people, not using dating apps works. For some, it does. So, it, essentially, whenever you are looking at a relationship, you are looking for the end result. So, if that end result is what you are looking for, however, whatever means you use to get there is up to you. If you have found some that are good, awesome. And those have been thoughts of relationships with Israel. and this is NPR. What's next?
Well, actually, what was the last thing we actually covered that was on topic on the list? I mean, not everything's on topic because we don't really play fast and loose with topics.
Yeah, how did we get to Graybeard
I don't know.
or Longbeard?
The discussion about feds and
Oh, okay.
it's-
Oh, and just for anybody who wanted to see it, the second link on the show notes actually did throw it over to the plea agreement. So if you want to read that, awesome.
So, how long do you think he's actually going to be in, or is he doing any time probation? Are they sending him back to Great Britain? What's the deal?
It's a QAnon statement at this point. Going with whatever information you have and making the best guess. At this point, I would say probably. I think with everything WannaCry, I think he won't do any more than 2 years.
yeah, I'm thinking I'm sort of in that range that Ill will put out there, that year and a day to maybe 2, but I know
Yeah.
but I know it's going to be no less than 5.
Well, he may get time served plus 2 or 3 to make it a 5, and he'll probably get out early on probation and just be under parole for the duration there.
Yeah.
And then,
Or
of course,
Parole?
well, the thing is, once that's up, he has to go back to Britain because he's not a citizen.
Like, what's he gonna do though? Like,
It
think-
depends. What if because somebody could hire him.
No, he's
He-
not. He's not a U.S. citizen. He can't work here without a work visa.
And
Yes, somebody could hire him and
sponsor him,
sponsor him on a work visa.
oh
Like-
wait a minute, but then once he gets convicted, then that's out the window.
Why?
Conviction.
Yeah, he's got a felony conviction that limits things a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. So on
Oh,
a work visa, you cannot be any type of a felon, whatever, and be able to get a work visa.
Very unlikely.
If you
I
get
mean,
if you get a felony charge, you're going to be out of here.
Yeah, good luck even get back in the country once he leaves
That
too.
is awesome news. I'm gonna tell my wife that, and just so she remembers.
Yeah,
So-
speeding tickets, misdemeanors, and stuff like that. Yeah, that's okay. It happens.
Yeah.
But felonies, nah, you're done.
so does that mean like no more DEFCON for him? Not that he
Yeah.
probably would go after what happened.
I mean, he would have a hard time getting in the country even because he would get stopped by immigration or
And
border
turned-
control, and they
and
would
turned
turn him
around.
away. Because he's a felon.
So you're even saying though, like visitor visa,
Yes.
like side. No,
Yes.
you're done. You're
So
A lot of
I-
countries do that actually.
it sucks
Australia.
extra hardcore for him because I don't know how well you're following the case, but the GCHQ knew about all this and decided to let him travel to the U.S. so he could be arrested in the U.S. The GCHQ threw him under the bus.
Yeah.
So gotta think
No, did they throw him under the bus or just pass a blind eye though?
they threw him under the bus. They knew he was going to get arrested in the U.S.
I mean, yeah,
this
but
could
in
be
the same sense, that's just looking the other way.
Well, this could be a backroom deal because they were trying to extradite Gary McKinnon for a long time, and they were never able to do it. So this could have been a little tit for tat there.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I mean, his own government doesn't want him, so that's probably extra sucks whenever he's forced to go back to the UK.
He may face charges there too, but that's not likely.
Yeah.
Because
I mean-
once his probation's up, once he's out of prison, he goes back. He's no time. He's going planning going back there.
I don't know. Like, if we were in the same situation, you think we'd go back to the UK?
Well, you have to. You can't.
Why?
Does he have an
because-
alternative?
No, he doesn't have a visa here anymore. He's no longer. here
I'm not
legally.
saying here. I'm saying what, like,
Somewhere else.
yeah, screw
if
it. Like,
Another
I would
country
look.
wants to take him, sure, but
Exactly.
like I said, a criminal conviction does limit you where you can go in a lot of the world. I mean,
I don't even think he can get into Canada now.
No, he can't, because as we were talking with Adrian, yeah,
Who
with
in the hell wants
'cause
to go
hold
to
on,
Canada? Come
remember,
on.
Adrian got a certain misdemeanor, and that's treated as a felony in Canada. So if he tried to go to Canada with it on his record, he couldn't. They would turn him away. So a lot of other countries are going to treat that pretty seriously.
My saying it depends on the misdemeanor, though. That's not going
Yes.
to my details. But
Well, yeah, because it depends upon if it's treated like a felony in Canada, which it is. So
I am. So it
Interesting.
does depend on that country's individual law.
Yeah. I mean, just because I'm thinking, the U.S., yeah, we got some nice beaches. UK, they don't. And, it rains and it sucks. Let's go somewhere warmer that still has high-speed internet.
So,
but it's going to depend upon whether or not he can even get a entrance there, if they're willing to deal with that or not. So some countries are a lot restricted on it, some aren't.
Yeah.
That's the big question.
Exactly. Side
at
chat.
the same time, one might hope that his role in stopping WannaCry might help him get an exception for somewhere, because that WannaCry is still a malware, still something that is discussed by policymakers or just people high up there. It's still a example they put out as something very bad that happened.
Yeah, I mean, WannaCry was the first, one of the first, if not the first one that utilized, a lot of the NSA hacking tools. And so, yeah, him finding a kill switch, that was big. And I still see a lot of companies potentially seeing value in that. He got through, he found it. Like, we understand that you have blemishes in your background, but in the same sense, you can do some good stuff. Like, I can definitely see companies sponsoring him, whatever country it may come out of. I mean, screw it. Kaspersky may say, like, he's freaking awesome, and we want to send him straight to Russia. I mean,
Yes, but then how does that look on the optics? Looking at you, Snowden.
Yeah.
It obviously would be a net negative, but I don't think anyone would start seeing him in this battle light as they do Snowden.
No,
No,
except for a handful of
freaking
feds.
close.
Maybe a handful of feds who kind of assume one bad move is equivalent to every bad move.
And to, like, Kronos, how many banks did that affect? And I'm not coming from it was only one. I honestly don't know. So, like, how much outreach, how far impacting was Kronos? If anybody knows.
And were any of the banks in the U.S. that it impacted?
I mean, not any that I remember. I mean,
In that case,
potentially,
how
I'd
did
have
the
to
U.S.
look.
have any jurisdiction if it didn't?
I mean, it may have hit like one or two banks. I don't know, but it's.
Yeah. It must have if it was to have U.S. jurisdiction in it.
Okay, you
Well,
guys keep
if
talking.
it hits something
Well,
in the U.S., they would have
I
jurisdiction.
looked stuff up.
That's a good question. If it hit a bank in the U.S., that's U.S. jurisdiction now.
Right, but it was initially reported that it did not hit anything in the U.S.
Yeah, it primarily hit UK banks and one bank in India.
But if it infected a U.S. computer though too.
Yeah,
that's the question. Or it's even a server that was looking at U.S. I mean, it may have been a foreign bank that had a server here got infected. Therefore, U.S. jurisdiction laws kick in.
That's interesting. I mean, yeah, maybe there was a bank overseas. I'm not seeing that any U.S. based bank was actually affected.
So yeah, then I guess you would have to look at the court documentation to see what were they actually who was the victim that the U.S. officials were charging him on behalf of.
Probably. If it was me, it would probably be Great Britain.
And
can the U.S.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting ready to ask. If there were no U.S. based systems, or if it was a UK bank in the U.S., I get that. But can the U.S. charge based upon other countries?
Well,
right?
I don't
Wouldn't
think
that have to be an MLAT thing where they extradite the person to the other country?
Yeah, they would extradite them. They would detain them for extradition, but I don't think they could charge them.
I mean, because from what I looked up real quick here, like Kronos primarily affected UK and one Indian bank.
But I
And-
mean, if the Kronos if the Kronos Trojan or the malware was hosted anywhere here in the U.S., that's where they come in, and if it originated from the U.S.
Yeah,
Yeah, so say it hits a AWS server or something. Yeah,
exactly.
I could see that. Okay.
Or if they have some contractor here or some employee that works here and infected their laptop, well, now it's a U.S. system, so U.S. jurisdiction. That's And with the way the internet is, I mean, you can pretty much get charged with a crime in any country because you're gonna touch device somewhere along the path that's in some other country.
Yeah.
Maybe Kronos that impacted mostly UK banks is why the GCHQ threw them under the bus.
But in the same sense, you have to ask, why is the UK not the one who is the primary making the indictment, making the case against him? Then
it's a great question. Not to mention, like, what would his employment prospects be considering Kronos in the UK? That is,
well, they may not have. I don't know a lot about court proceedings in the UK, but they may not have had the evidence to prosecute. They may not have had anything for that. So,
but on the evidence side, I mean, I would understand information sharing. Like, wouldn't the UK work with the US to get the evidence that the US was able to find?
In theory, yes.
I mean, I don't work government sector, don't work up in the 3-letter orgs. I mean, that's just my thought that, we would those channels would be available. But if I do something and I fly down to Cuba and I do it from Cuba against China, and I don't get how I'm going to be indicted in the US or the UK or anywhere outside of Cuba and China.
Well,
I may take the internet route may take me up through the US to actually physically get me to China.
Yeah.
But
from my understanding of indictments and how that would work, for example, if you were in Cuba, Cuba may want to prosecute you for committing a crime within their borders.
Yeah, which I would get.
But in this case, the victim was China. They would petition the government of where you're located. Like, say you fled to Malaysia, they would petition Malaysia to extradite you to them based upon what happened. And of course, if they have an extradition treaty at all, like, for example, if you killed someone in China and fled to Brazil, you're kind of safe because Brazil does not extradite people for capital crimes.
But if I was a UK citizen, like, I would figure that at some point the UK would want to extradite me and charge me.
If that was the case,
whenever you're a US citizen, anytime you travel overseas, it doesn't matter what the local, like pedophilia and all that stuff.
That absolutely does matter.
No, I'm saying that whenever you travel overseas, if you're in not Korea, where's Bangladesh?
That's India.
Yeah, that is India. Crap. What are a couple of the other Asian countries?
Bangladesh is its own
What,
country.
are you talking about Bangkok?
I was thinking Bangalore. Yeah. Or Thailand.
Thailand. Yes, that's what I was wanting to get to. So if I'm a U.S. citizen and I travel to Thailand, like, me as a U.S. citizen, I am still expected, and I can be prosecuted under the laws of the U.S. for anything that I do in Thailand, whether it is legal or not.
Yeah, that's what happened to Swirly Face.
Yeah.
And the verse also applies too. Just because you're in that country does not mean you don't have to obey their laws. So if you go to Thailand and you commit a crime, it's a crime in Thailand, but not in the U.S.
Yes.
Thailand can still prosecute you. Now, because you're a foreign citizen, that will get messy. But yeah.
People go down to Mexico and end up in Mexican jails.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap! I'm sorry, but in this, I like with Marcus's case, I just don't get why it's happening on American soil, American DOJ, as opposed to UK. I that's I mean he was wrong in what he did, and you know he stated he was wrong in what he did, so I'm going to have to assume that he did it, and go from there. But I don't really get why the U.S., are the ones prosecuting him as opposed to the U.K. prosecuting him.
It,
Like that's the part I don't. And he was in the freaking U.K.
yeah,
I don't get that.
It's probably due to the evidence collected. They just may not have enough evidence to prosecute him. I mean, now that he's been here and admitted to things, they may have the evidence. That may have been the master plan all along, was to get him here, to get him to confess to something, and then once he's back there, he goes back to jail for some other crime. Fuck knows. That's all way high level above all of us. But
I mean, but in that sense, though, is the UK going to take whatever sentence is given here as kind of the master? Like,
they
okay,
can.
whatever
every
happens in the US, or can you be charged separately?
Oh no, you can be charged separately. Oh yeah, I mean the constant double jeopardy is kind of unique to us in the U.S. So he could absolutely be charged again there. I mean that's happened before. People will get charged with one crime in one country, and then as soon as their sentence is up, they're deported. They go back to their country and back to jail.
Okay, screw it. My company. Sorry, I'm never traveling again outside of my homeland.
Yeah, we have a very unique justice system here. There's a lot of things that we do that other countries do not do. That's good and bad both.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean that's where my kind of issue is with this is why are we doing this? Why are we spending money on it? If the majority of the stuff happened overseas, like let them handle it. Like we share information. I mean, GCHQ, is that what they are?
GCHQ.
Yeah.
Yep.
And our side, they fairly freely share information.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on. Why are we doing
I've heard that some of that does fragment. They go through spats. I mean, this could have been a case of them having a spat, and maybe some prosecutor was flexing on a muscle. Who the hell knows? But there's a lot of this that we just won't ever know because it's so high level.
But in the same sense, there are very few prosecutors who can actually flex any muscle. I mean, come on. Just me being me.
Kamala Harris was a prosecutor. Apparently, she flexed a lot of muscle.
Yeah.
Never mind. What was that mayor called? What was the mayor of? Was it San Francisco at the time?
Kamala Harris?
No, she was a prosecutor. There was a mayor she hooked up with.
Oh, really?
I don't remember.
I'll look it up. Never mind.
There you go. Okay, but yes, daily double. I like it. 4D underwater backgammon. Opinion. It sounds like Darren knows what you're talking about. I don't, and I'm probably glad that I don't.
I'm just a lot of guessing here based upon what I've seen. So take what I say with a pretty big grain of salt.
Willie Brown was the name of the mayor in question.
Oh, okay.
Willie Brown and Kamala Harris.
Nice. Next up, we have vulnerable stuff, and we threw it on here. Just patch everything. US CERT is a good resource. They publish these items weekly, as opposed to hitting every single. I mean, we may still throw stuff in here weekly that you definitely need to pay attention about, like 0 days and whatnot. But US CERT actually, what are they? CISA Cyber Infrastructure. Yeah, they actually do a decent job of classifying different vulnerabilities within systems if they have or have not been patched. The CVE associated to it. So, going to start trying to throw these into the show notes for you guys, just so you can be cyber. Yes. It is 3 levels beyond 4D. I like that. No, I will not say it with you. opinion, you're pretty cool. I don't care what Adrian says about you. But these are all done on a weekly basis, and so check the uscert.gov. It's the most comprehensive list that I've found, and they do a fairly decent job. But like I said, we'll still throw out, if it's just something that is not enterprise class, if we find it and it's good enough, we'll still let you guys know. Like, what's some of these door cameras?
Like the Ring.
Yeah, Ring, and there's a couple others.
Netflix ones.
Yeah, if there's stuff that's well known, we'll still throw that on to vulnerable stuff. But yeah, for the most part, we'll try to every week get the US cert up here so you can get the enterprise side, and then anything that's kind of an outlier, we'll try to also include. So scroll through that, quite a bit of stuff. I mean,
Was there speaking in your background?
Say it again.
Was someone yelling in the background?
Yes, no, there wasn't.
I'm going to go ahead and assume it was a TV show.
I said wow quietly because I'm reading over the vulnerability list, and there's some wow. This is a very
it's very extensive.
it touches everything.
Yeah, I mean it really does, and it's one of those things. Make sure you look over it at minimum on a weekly basis. If you are a network admin, a system admin, security, make sure you are looking over this for looking into different items within your environment. Just because hardly anybody can fully patch everything in the environment. When it comes to network, firewall, systems, just everything. And make sure you are definitely aware of just all at minimum, the criticals and the highs, and try to hit, well, let's see how they classify it as high, and then they go to medium. So I would say highs on a weekly, mediums on a monthly, and go on from there. But yeah, make sure, because they do a good job. This is one of the few resources I have found in the past that actually do a really good job of just getting all the data together and giving it for public consumption. So yeah, make sure you check it.
Right. I mean, they pretty much have taken over.
Yeah.
And if you patch, don't forget to update your firmware too, because I see firmware bugs in here. That's something a lot of people miss.
Correct. And opinion discarded. Links. Show notes. So left side, you're on YouTube. Left side, scroll down. You'll see Adrian and the cool. What is that thing? Not a pelican.
It's a penguin.
A penguin. There you go.
The rock hard penguin.
Yes, the rock hard penguin. So go under Adrian Crenshaw's name, and then show notes underneath that, and we have that the link in the show notes.
I'm about to have the same opinion of Israel as Elon Imar. I can't say a fucking name.
Hey,
I've only been vaping.
Wait, what's her opinion of me? Come on.
Of Israel? You think Israel shouldn't exist?
Oh, her, yes. Okay. Different person that I was thinking of, yes.
I love you, Israel.
I know, but not in the same way that you love me. Okay, so that was vulnerable stuff. Anybody have anything else to add before we move on to other stuff? I only have one thing in here, but it's one of those things I want to talk about briefly. Yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move into this. The other stuff, because I don't have anything off the top of my head.
Okay, cool. Last thing I threw on here is APT 34 Tools Lake. So the link that I put on here, and I want to 100% caution anybody working within, touching anything within this. I have not gone through everything within it. I have downloaded it. I have a separate source that I downloaded it from to validate the link. The password works. It is the same information from my separate source. But APT-34 is supposed to be, has been classified as a Iranian organization. And this could, I don't know, I haven't gone through it yet, could be similar to the Snowden NSA leak, types of hacking tools. So again, I have not gone through this, preface 100%, but I tested the download works, the password works, as well as they do have a nice little write-up about it. So do with it what you will. Do not come back to me saying something screwed up your system. I don't care. I am advising you on a link. And
It's your fault that my VM got blown away. You're gonna have to help me fix it.
yeah, not my fault. You downloaded it independently. I'm giving you the information. If you download it, so be it. But it is in the show notes. We have it under other stuff, and you can go from there. But like I said, I did validate this is the actual data. I had it from another source that was not password protected, but this one is password protected. The password is in the link that we put on here, and you can download it and see what it does. And I will take off the Facebook crap. Now, it's a lot prettier. And that's all I have. Anybody else have anything else?
Nope, I can't say that I do.
If you're going to be in Orlando Sunday through Wednesday of next week, come see me. I look forward to seeing anybody who's there. It's a financial type of conference, something. But if you work in within the financial industry and you're going to be at the FS ISAC, yeah, definitely come see me. I'll be at the Binary Defense booth. And let's see, I'll be at Black Hat, Wild West Hacking Fest, DerbyCon, obviously. 614 Con, if anybody is in the Columbus area or Central Ohio or surrounding close states, it is a awesome conference. 614 Con will remind you more of like a DerbyCon, GerCon than a Black Hat or an RSA. So it is a good con, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll be at Charm, and at least at Las Vegas, DEF CON, DerbyCon, obviously, and I'm sure a few other cons scattering throughout the year.
Yeah. Who all's going to Charm? Pinion is asking. So Adrian, Liz, who else? Just the two of you?
Yeah, I wasn't originally going to go, but a friend of mine had a spare ticket.
Okay. So yeah, you can be the Lizard Man.
Yes.
The Lizard.
You can be my bodyguard in case someone who threatened to deck me shows up.
Heck yeah. Wait, which one? All of them at the same time?
People have threatened violence towards me, to my knowledge. So
that would be an especially poor convention for them to do that at.
Whole lot of feds.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's interesting. What state is Charm in?
It's in Maryland, I believe. In one year, a few years ago, the NSA was actually a sponsor of Charm.
Yep. They also do B-Sides Philadelphia, which I couldn't go to this year because it conflicted with B-Sides Tampa. I already told Tampa. Hopefully next year it won't overlap. They had no B-Sides Philadelphia 2018 because they pushed it back a couple months and it ended up going into 2019. But unfortunately, it conflicted because B-Sides Philadelphia is a lot of fun. I need to talk to Brad about I'll get myself on the schedule for that.
Nice.
Yeah, so like I said, we'll see you there, Adrian.
Cool.
Yes. Okay. I did want to go back and address one item. I don't think Charles is on right now, right? No. Okay, Charles dropped. Liz, Adrian, you may be a good reference for this. So Dark Owl asked, got a question about wireless quote unquote bug detectors. When time's appropriate, I have a possible side job coming in. So crap, I actually thought the question had more information in it.
I don't know much about it.
Yeah, Dark Owl.
I see them at spy shops, and I think there's some places like Daily Extreme that sell like Chinese ones and so forth. I'm honestly not sure what spectrums they put those on. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to need much more context because
Yeah.
they really vary dramatically in how they operate.
Yeah. I agree. Sorry. Dark Owl, if you are still on, give us a little bit more context. You know, what you're scanning for, what system you're trying to use, stuff like that.
If you're going to an Airbnb and you want to find all the cameras that are looking at you, I'm not going to be much help there.
Well, there's something they use at movie theaters to quickly see people who are like recording in there. There's something that's let off by the camera. Do you have any idea what that is? This is just what I've heard. I don't know much about the subject.
Infrared.
Yeah, infrared.
All your cell phone cameras have a little infrared in them. So like if you record on them, you'll see a little infrared coming off of them.
Yeah. And we love Tux loves you also. So, opinion. We're a fan of Tux. Actually, where's Tux been? We haven't seen Tux on in a couple weeks. Answer quickly. Come on. Pip, pip. Okay. Opinion is not answering quickly. So, anybody got anything else for tonight?
Not immediately.
Okay.
Vaping my spray and waiting for some new coils to come in.
Did you already do your weird group of the week?
Yes.
Yeah, we covered a little bit about QAnon.
Did you have anything to add? That you are an active QAnon follower, that you follow and obey everything they say?
Sure. I don't know. I honestly do not know what Adrian covered because I was not listening before I came on. And I only know a small scattering of stuff related to QAnon. There's stuff you've seen in the news where you see some people who believe in QAnon going to congressional testimonies and holding up signs saying QAnon, that it's often that the primary demographic is boomers, baby boomers and the like.
Trying to call in.
Holy shit. Yeah, you answer that. I don't want to answer it. It's Tux.
All right. Hi, Tux. I got an old chat. I got you on my phone, and then I have the other thing going on my laptop. So what's up? Tux?
Sorry. I thought that this was the show. Is there a new link now?
There's always a new link every single time. Let me see if I can.
Oh, dang it.
Let me see if I can find it for you.
Hold on a minute. I don't know if I can get on.
Shoot. I'm trying to figure out how to do this.
Transcribe the link and put it in your phone on the same means he's messaging you on.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that, but this one's not bringing up a chat. Let me see.
Yeah, because literally Tux was calling in. I had it on my phone too.
Yeah, Tux, do you see the other one? The link I just sent you?
In what? In the chat?
Let's
see. Yeah. Let's see if I can do it on the phone.
Alrighty.
Right. So.
Yeah, come on. Get on, Tux.
Leave this call and I'll be right back.
Alrighty.
All right. So finish up on that. Like I said, QAnon is primarily a baby boomer thing. Quite a lot of conspiracy theories. I don't think anyone actually knows who Q is. So that's kind of assumed by the name Anon.
Yeah, and two, I think Q is a group. You know, I
Could very
don't
well
think it's.
be.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it's one person.
And
I think
my
it's a group of less than 10, though.
My understanding is that it primarily or originally came from the whole 4chan sphere of things.
Yeah.
Which you gotta admit, it's really fucking weird that boomers have anything to do with it.
Yep.
And yeah, it's since I don't hang out through most of this, I don't really do anything on poll. So I don't really know much of how it goes from 4chan to baby boomer, because I'm assuming it's not direct. I'm assuming there's not a legion of conspiracy theorists touting baby boomers who specifically browse poll.
That's interesting. So you've seen some documentation saying there's a lot of baby boomers who are like hitting it.
I see videos of baby boomers going to congressional testimonies, holding up signs, and political rallies, holding up signs saying QAnon, or wearing shirts saying QAnon.
I mean,
I see people who use a real name and pictures, and they look quite very much so in their late 50s and 60s on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, because a lot of the people I know are Gen Xers, you know, who follow it.
That's interesting. I've not seen too many people younger than 50 who have said anything related to QAnon, but again, that's my social circles.
I mean, but over 50 is still baby boomers.
It's exclusively over 50.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, everybody I know who like actually follows it, who reposts it, you know, via Twitter and or Facebook, yeah, they're all Gen Xers.
That is interesting. It makes sense. I mean, it makes sense that it wouldn't be just baby boomers, but it's still trending at an age that is not the average 4chan demographic.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because 4chan, you're thinking. I mean, we're on it, you know, but we're also security individuals. But for the most part, 4chan and you know, past that, I imagine being probably in the early 20s and under range.
It's
majority
it's
side.
maintained a mainly static population for over the years.
Yeah.
Generally, the amount of people who stop posting there are replaced by people in their teens and the like who come in, relatively same proportions of people. I'm basing that off of Moot's live stream I listened to several years ago when he stepped down from running 4chan.
Yeah.
Though he didn't exactly state what I said. He just stated that the numbers of people who visit 4chan in the audience seems relatively stable over the years.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that there are people who don't post there anymore. A lot of people who don't post there anymore. And I also hear of things of people from 4chan who spout the kind of memes from 4chan who end up in the news for doing something too edgy. They cut themselves. And it's some 16-year-old fucking neo-Nazi in Germany who hacks politicians and fuck.
Yeah. I mean, like 4chan side, I haven't done shit there in 8+ years.
I've not been the most active. I have not been super active on there, especially since they put in the CAPTCHA way back when.
Oh,
but I mean, I do go there time to time.
I mean, yeah, I'll troll a little here and there, but nothing like nothing like I used to.
You don't go on B and just shitpost?
B is just shitty porn.
Not
spam
on a daily basis.
B is just porn now.
B is not as fun. It's the thing. 4chan, you would expect 2D waifus. No, B is primarily 3D, and it confuses the ever-loving fuck out of me.
What about O? You guys like O and G? Those are my go-tos.
I like OMG. Yeah.
Oh.
I have to admit, I do find. Oh my! Damn it!
Damn it.
Every year, 4chan has this thing, I think, on April Fools where they combine a few of the boards, and I completely forgot this year. Last year, for example, they combined the My Little Pony and Pole board, and the memes from that were just glorious from ML Pole.
That's amazing.
It really was. It was some of
bet
the
the
funniest
Nazi
shit.
Spurgs loved that. I bet they just could not. I bet they could not even.
It was a disturbing match made in heaven. It was
That's right.
so many memes of Rarity sewing a Nazi flag.
Who is this now? What was the mixture of? I was posting some memes. What's up?
Yeah,
It's like My Little Pony board.
now
My
And-
Little Pole.
it,
My Little
it was
Pole.
Gordon Ramsay alongside his wife. Good night. Come on, really, Adrian?
So I was talking about, I didn't pay attention this year. I forgot all about it. But last year, 4chan did a thing where they combined a bunch of boards on April Fools. And one of the boards I saw was ML Pole, the My Little Pony board and Pole. And it worked surprisingly well together. A lot of people said, please don't split us back up after April 1st. And the memes were just something else.
Nice.
Oh my god.
People have been forcing a lot of shit about Nazis. There's even some.
No, they moved to 8chan now. The real Nazis are on 8chan these days.
I was figuring most of the poll was like bullshit, shit posters and edgelords.
So
Yeah.
there's a significant population of that on both 4chan and 8chan poll, but they're more organized on 8chan.
Yep.
So yes, Adrian, that's what he used to be, but I always figured the same thing happened to them for what happened to B. They got too popular, too much publicity, and it attracted a great deal of people too quickly who were not really acclimated to Chan culture and the board's culture. And at least from what I saw or tried to make sense over the years, it's less ironic Nazis and more serious white nationalists.
Yeah.
Well, serious as in they are actually white nationalists. They still do shit posting, but there's more people who are not ironic about it.
It's like it's less like the old shit posters and more like the crazy guys on like.
Right, so
some-
kind of like the Christchurch shooter who had meme after
Yeah.
the meme in his manifesto.
You know, I'm still morbidly curious about his manifesto. I've not actually seen it because I've been a little bit lazy about that.
It's also been removed from like every major
Well,
website.
give me a copy. I read it just because I was like, what the hell's actually going on with this? And I have a copy of it.
Wasn't
I
it-
would be interested because this is the first. I have to admit, it's coming from a shitposter background. Hearing that kind of thing happen from the Christchurch shooting is sobering.
It's
And
surreal.
a lot of things are surreal these days, but
It's like we might as well shut down the Onion. Like we don't need it anymore. You know the satirical news site.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's just it was always so easy. It's still always so easy to dismiss most of the shit that comes out of 4chan and 8chan and any of the other chans as edgelords being edgy. They don't really do anything, or they don't actually go out of their way and hurt people. But now you have one of the most egregious crimes possible that came from someone who supposedly frequented 8chan. And
But yeah, to be fair, that's 8chan.
it's disturbing.
8chan is like unironic. They have unironic Nazis and pedophiles on their site. So
Yeah, they have. Well, if you're talking about pedophiles, 4chan probably has more.
I don't know. I think they moved to 8chan. It seems like any unmoderated space on the internet attracts basically Nazis and pedophiles. That's like those are like the go-tos.
Yes, but I don't think you can get much hotter than 8chan is right now. So, hotter as in feds of all
Yeah.
stripes all around the world are looking extremely intently at it, as well as report journalists. So, if you're talking about fucking pedophiles and the like, they're not going to hang someplace where they assume everyone's going to see people who can subpoena 8chan can and will see everything they do and say.
Yeah, they don't post like actual they don't post like pictures anymore, but they'll still talk about it unironically because you can connect to 8chan from Tor. and they block Tor users from posting images. So you can still talk. They still talk unironically about like pedophilia and stuff on the site. They just don't post.
Yeah, but you see that kind of shit on 4chan as well.
Yeah, I guess. I haven't encountered it as much on 4chan, but I may not be looking in all the wrong places, if you know what I mean. I'm not really looking for it.
Some people are a bit too edgy at times.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, it's I'm really having to reevaluate a lot of assumptions I've made over the years, and that's. I have to admit that's one of many assumptions. Just hand wave away everything from the Chans because they're just basement. They're just neckbeards or leg beards in their basements, that kind of thing. Well, obviously, almost everything that comes out of them is still satirical or just nonsense. There's now going to be that doubt.
There's always, it only takes one Turbo Spurg to like just ruin it, you know.
Yes, and this, my God, man, this goes beyond anything. It goes beyond anything else that's ever happened.
Yeah, because like it was like the My Little Pony board, it was like it started as like a joke, right? Like the My Little Pony, like people being bronies, and then like some like person on the spectrum thought, oh, people like this, and then they checked it out, and then they unironically started liking it and becoming bronies, and then it grew to becoming a board because they couldn't stand
because people kept spamming My Little Pony shit everywhere, and eventually that board was created to be the containment board for My Little Pony stuff.
Yeah,
that's how these things normally happen.
It only takes like one autistic person that doesn't see the irony or the humor to like ruin this, satire for like everyone.
I have to admit I'm a little confused what you mean when we're talking about My Little Pony.
No, I'm just using it as an example.
Yes, but an example of what when you're talking about an autistic person who treats it seriously.
I'm on the. I use case of love because I'm a total Spurg myself. So
I mean, are you talking about someone who literally has sex with ponies? Actual real life ponies? Is that what you mean?
No, I'm not quite going.
I mean, I'm sorry. Let me use this in.
Those people do exist. Mostly, I'm talking about like, I don't know. Some people are a little irony and humor impaired. Like not humor impaired, but like irony impaired. Okay. They don't.
So you're not talking about pony fuckers.
No, I'm not.
Liz just came straight out and said
that is the term.
Happen when there is a feedback loop sometimes of the autism.
I'm just saying that's the term that they use on the Chans, pony fuckers, in referring to My Little Pony, or fans, bronies, and the like.
I wasn't aware. Is that what B calls them now?
Yeah.
That for years, that's what people who say. So when people like a certain topic heavily shitpost their topic on the wrong board. People say things like "Go away, pony fucker."
Oh, see, I'm kind of I'm one of those. I'm not. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not one of the old whatevers. You know what I mean?
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah.
I'm not sure what other conclusions.
Liz, and or Tux, what do they call those who interact with cows?
You talking about lolcows or cows?
Like cows.
Yeah, again, the most common use of the term cow on the Chans is lolcow.
Yeah, that's the only cow I ever heard you talk about. Is someone that's like just like you can milk for the lulz.
Yeah, you milk lols out of them. It's people who does not take much to get them to do something that's laughable.
Yeah, if you don't know who Christian is, I highly suggest.
Oh God!
I mean, because
I highly suggest you don't.
If you are in any country atmosphere within the U.S., once you're in the country, you will very quickly know in a
do you mean rednecks?
Oh yeah.
Well,
okay, so you're talking about
everything else. You will know what stump train means. So,
train.
And it's a derogatory thing, obviously. But just, going on that mindset making sure that we are on the same boat. Does 4chan whatnot have, because literally haven't been on there hardly any in years. Like, do they have a term for that?
I am not aware of any specific phrase for that. As something very memeable has to come out for there to really be a new phrase associated with it.
Yeah, I mean,
there's not been anything specific for cows.
I mean, because that's not a new thing. Like out in the country, people joke about that constantly. It's definitely not new whenever it's non-internet side. But
I mean, you could
if there was something internet side.
In 4chan parlance, you could just call them furries.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was
really.
So essentially, a derogatory term for a furry is, or a derogatory way of using it is someone who fucks animals. That is kind of the way. It's another way of saying fuck off furry. They just associate that with animal fucking.
Yeah, I can see that.
But that's not specific to cows in that derogatory sense.
Yeah. I get it.
I have to admit, I'm a little concerned everything I'm saying might come back to bite me someday, because I know this is on stream.
I sure hope so.
You guys better not Me Too this.
I would be very confused if this had any relation to Me Too.
I know, it was a joke. I was just saying.
I mean, worst case, if someone approaches me with this kind of stuff in person, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm aware of Chan culture, and I have said
Liz, I
naughty words on stream.
The next time I see you at Derby, I mean, it's gonna be fun.
Hey,
well, I remember many years ago, I asked Bruce Shire a question along the lines, and I wish I could get this on video. I had a link at one time, and IU took the video down. But I was asking Bruce Shire, do you think all these people on the internet eventually things will come back to haunt them? That they said, and at the time, this was a few years before things had become as much of an outrage culture as it now is. This may have been like 2008 or something. And I asked this question. He said, "Well, as far as presidential campaigns, we've gone from I did not smoke pot to I smoked but didn't inhale to yes, I smoked pot with Obama." So he thought that people are just going to adjust societal standards, and maybe about drugs he's correct, but that's a shitload of people going through others' old tweets just to find something to get them on.
This is why I don't tweet about politics on my Twitter.
You never know what will become political.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because there's outrage, history digging, things you said that were not very controversial way back when could get you fired from your job if enough outrage is around in present day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I know what you're saying, but it's no longer a guarantee that it's riskless.
And that's why 99.99% of my tweets are all fully automated.
Oh, mine are just super sanitized.
And I never post anything controversial.
Not at all, man. Clean as a whistle.
Never, ever. Yeah.
I mean, worst case, it's I'll be fine.
Yeah,
it'll just be a very awkward conversation.
Yeah, your tweets are definitely taken through a butt plug, sanitizer system.
Are you talking about mine?
No,
no, it's Adrian's. He gets
and I specifically an item that we spoke about earlier on the show.
Wait, so there's did someone actually write a script that takes the politics out of his tweets, or is that, or you just
no?
Adrian has a little bit of a cult of people who hate him, who take his tweets out of context, or see more into them than really are there, and tend to try to run him over the coals for that.
So I think
without
someone
naming names, that is
what we said, and they need to make a Git repository called butt plug sanitizer. And write a tweet fixer.
Okay,
right?
you go ahead and ask QDot about that.
What?
Go ahead and ask QDot about that.
QAnon.
Go.
I'll put something in the private chat. Some people are just no fun, but I'm just going to post it in the private chat, so don't say anything about it, but you can just look at it.
Agreed.
Okay.
I mean, QDot, isn't QDot the one that does the sex toy hacking?
No.
Is it?
Oh.
I thought you were talking about QAnon.
No, Now we're talking about butt plugs. Where does QAnon come
I
into
mean,
play?
laugh
we
when I
were
hear
talking
people
about
on
you.
people
Come
talk about
on.
QAnon.
You know,
Oh,
that doesn't make you wonder now that I think about it. Just way out there, how hard would it really be to hijack, so to speak, QAnon like fan or follower base? Like, how much effort would it take other people to get them to believe something that you say 10 or fewer people who normally see that kind of stuff normally do?
You know what my
probably not
plan
that
would
hard.
be? Yeah, that wouldn't be that hard. My plan would be to change all my stuff over to Russian and then just take over the previous Russian accounts for hijacking purposes. I mean, legal.
Yeah, yeah. And going back to the old 4chan thing, part of the reason why I know some of these memes and shit posting and the like is I have posted quite a bit, or I'm most closely associated with the V or occasionally G boards, video games and tech boards. And the video game board is infamous for kind of being a collection of almost every kind of shit post on 4chan. So I get exposed to a very large variety of the stuff.
You just don't post about video games on G. They'll kick you out. They'll say, "Go play your games."
Or
elsewhere."
say, "Fucking shill, get the fuck out here. Go kill yourself. Check my dubs and die."
Nice.
And for those that do not familiar with 4chan at all or are listening, every post in 4chan has a number associated with it. Dubs is or trips or quads or whatever you want to call it, or quints. The last few numbers on your post count, if they're exactly the same, like the last two numbers or dubs, is typically it's the equivalent of someone saying, "I'm bored of this conversation. Hey, let's talk about something else." This person's post has the same two numbers at the end. This dubs. And there's a ton of memes associated with that.
Oh yeah, no, it's like that post is like they check their dubs, it's like it's checked.
Yes.
They check them. They gotta check those dubs.
I miss the day when it was just BT dubs.
Your boomer is showing.
Oh, screw you, you little freaking 14-year-old. I am not a freaking boomer. Thank you.
It's a joke, dude.
Your boomer is showing. I'm going to show a little boomer on you.
Do you know what boomer juice is?
No, thank you. It sounds kind of like it has a little bit of a tomato juice mixed with pineapple, probably.
No, it's just Monster Zero Ultra is boomer juice. According to
see, that has aspartame, and see, I don't do aspartame.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to shift gears a little bit. What do you guys think of the Internet of Things or poo or whatever what's their things?
In regard to what and how? In a security context, if you land it off, if it should be completely annihilated, like how?
I don't know. So I work. Okay, so let me give you some context. So I work now at a Internet of Things company.
Okay.
And I should yeah. So anyways, I have found myself at a place where I am fixing a
and to specify, DevSec, like where are you at?
I'm kind of all over because the team that we have in India is
okay.
There's a mixture of
you
people
already
at
explained
levels.
where they're at. They're in India. Next.
Okay, so
we get that.
We got people of varying expertise on that scene. There are like
Yes.
a few of them that are really good, and then there are a few of them that aren't so good. And so you get things like just code that's like portals for managing your Internet of Things devices with that it's just wide open to the internet. It's not even funny. So have you guys encountered anything like that? And is it just me at my place? I mean,
oh no, that is a constant with any time we're talking about IoTs.
Right now, get this. This is my favorite. So they reverse SSH is a thing, right? It's built into like the I mean, if you have SSH installed, you just use that, right? Well, they didn't really understand how to use that or whatever. So they took this, like, they found some crappy Node.js code that does like WebSockets with the shell, and they just kind of shoved it in there. And they, you know, what's even more insulting is they called it reverse SSH. They called it a reverse SSH.
Nice.
But it's not SSH.
That's beautiful.
They have like a
I mean,
server
every red team in the world right now, their ears went whoop.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm rebuilding it. I am currently rewriting it with with a few simple bash scripts instead of having all these lines of Node that suck.
Yeah.
We're gonna have. I mean, Node has its purpose, but WebSockets, it's not really ideal for a continuous terminal session with
Correct.
interactive. It's really horrible. It's literally okay. So before I joined the company, right? We just had this portal, this page, right? It had no authentication whatsoever, right? So you go there, it's called the live viewer.
Yeah.
And you'd go to this live viewer page, right? And it was like an administrative console. Again, no auth. There's a button off to the side. So it listed so we deploy Raspberry Pis right now. All our platform is based on the Raspberry Pi, right?
Yeah.
You'd have a list of all the Raspberry Pis, their MAC addresses, everything. And then towards the very right of this table, right, with the list, was a button that said terminal. And when you click terminal, it would eventually bring up a terminal.
Nice.
So, and then you click on that terminal, you see that the pound symbol, and you're like, and then you type in, who am I? And you press enter, and it says root.
Nice. Even better.
Zero auth, right? So right now they finally at least added, since I joined, they switched right? First they switched it over to HTTPS. That'll stop the hackers, right? Still no auth.
Yeah.
They finally added basic auth to the server.
Thank you.
But of course, it's just one user account and password that they pass around like candy.
Yeah.
But it's an improvement,
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement.
And the password
just
actually
in general, OPSEC dictates that maybe you shouldn't say so much specifics about the security vulnerabilities of your employer.
Well, it's been fixed. You see.
Good.
Yeah, that's what you think. Meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out how to
Well, I'm rewriting this
back.
thing. I am rewriting this thing with and I'm just going to implement it as in SSH.
And we are still live. FYI.
Yes.
Just to remember.
And I'm gonna figure out how to roll that back.
Yeah, it's not possible. It's out there.
Yes.
But you see, this is why when I on my LinkedIn and my Twitter, I will always just have like the last job I worked or like like 2 jobs ago. I never list my current job.
and see, and that is a good point. That's like with my I do not list security products and stuff like that I supported for my current or my previous position.
Well, I don't even say where I worked on my social media. So
I mean, I do say where I work, but
I don't do that.
And that's fine.
Because if I piss somebody off on the internet, like let's say theoretically, I haven't done it. Anything with my name on it, I usually am pretty inoffensive, right? I don't talk politics at all on any account that's associated with this profile, like pretty much at all.
Whatever. We got the furry side. We get it. We know.
Yeah. So anyways, so I it's kind of hard for some angry cat lady to find where I work and like call them and get mad because I don't list it anywhere. But yeah, long story short, so I'm fixing that. I'm just writing just using some lines of bash, having a server that they connect to the server. They with their MAC address, they say their MAC address, they get a port back and they forward to that port. We're gonna have every employee has a key. It's like simple stuff.
Now okay, so interaction wise, network side, do they need to speak to this device from Windows, Mac, whatever systems that are potentially on other VLANs?
You're talking about on the same physical network or what?
Yes.
These products that not usually. Well, the ones that do, like some of our things are interfacing with some Siemens equipment, right? And some
Okay.
you know, and that's
Yeah.
on a separate network. So there's a separate USB interface for that.
But whenever that type of thing occurs, though, they can still be fully segmented off and firewalled in between, and
Sure.
you know, VLAN side, and only whatever you said, port 443, and only do port 443 between those two segments, and only the corresponding IP addresses.
Mm.
So, you know, from a security perspective, you know, we're not only looking at it from your perspective. You know, you're
Yeah.
doing the IoT stuff. We're going out to the internet, but we also need, you know, just
client.
make sure,
Yeah.
the client side, making sure anybody listening, you know, we have other items, other ways that we can segment these items off. I mean,
yeah.
I have IoT within my house. It all sits on a guest network. 100%.
Yeah. So
I
is
mean,
VLANs?
you know.
I have actually a question because you guys know a lot more about security than me. So VLANs, having a separate VLAN, but using the same internet connection, right? Is there? Are there ways? Have there been ways in the past to break out of a VLAN?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, once you compromise and once you break through a router or you know, break out of a switch, yeah, you can definitely break out of a VLAN, but it's definitely, you know, you're
depending on the switch. If you wrap your traffic in another VLAN tag, like a VLAN tag within a VLAN tag, you go past your port and it takes out the outer VLAN tag. It'll then switch it based on the inner VLAN tag.
Yeah, but
I don't know if that's really much of a thing anymore, but it used to be a notable problem in the past.
Yes, but in the same sense, that is whenever you're no longer, you know, like the low hanging fruit. You know,
Gotcha.
you're
Yeah, I
getting
mean,
advanced. You are getting more knowledgeable. You're actually, you know, you're getting into the realm of a targeted advance at that point.
Right.
Because the vast majority of the stuff, if you hit the low hanging fruit, you're going to be good from 99% of the shit out there.
Oh yeah,
you know?
exactly. I agree.
Which are all automated attacks. So if you get that, then yeah.
Well,
I mean, because if somebody, if you know, nation state individual who has a skill set wants to attack you, wants to get into your organization, wants to get into your manufacturing facility, whatever the case may be, they will get in if they have, you know, the skill set and the means and ways to do it.
Yeah,
but you know, getting past that 99%, because the 99% is the automated, the low hanging fruit, and if you do, so I mean, in this day and age, segmentation, that is basic. You know, we've been talking about it for 20 freaking years. If you don't segment, like, and you have a flat network, I'm sorry, you are from, you know, 1978, and you're just going to be completely screwed on every level, like 100%. But even getting segmentation in there is a massive, massive thing, you know, when it comes to security, because now you're isolating it down to just one area. And then going past that with all the different layers we have now, like, yeah. I have nothing against IoT. Like I said, I have IoT in my house. I'm not going to go against, you know, new tech.
I love computer. I love the fact that we can just shove a computer into anything. Yeah, I think the NetBSD guys.
It's good and bad, but yes, we can.
You know, those NetBSD guys with the toaster, they were onto something. They're very innovative. They're ahead of their time.
Exactly. Like I know. Well, I don't have a freaking IoT refrigerator, but for those of my friends who do, like, good for you. I hope you have it segmented off. And I'm glad that it tells you when you are out of bread or whatever in the hell this, you know, you need an IoT fridge.
Or if you get hit with a Windows update and it won't dispense ice.
Privacy risk aside, I don't see the utility in most IoT crap. It just seems to be exact same product you had before, except it sends usage data to the manufacturer.
And now you can do it from your smartphone. I mean, Liz, don't you want to be upstairs or, you know, in your bedroom and know exactly when your toast has popped out of the toaster?
Of course.
I mean, come on.
I mean, that's like how can you live without that?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I don't know how anyone made it.
Yeah, but I think IoT in an industrial scenario, if secured well, actually has a pretty good use case.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Yes.
asking. What give me use cases? I know there are some, but it just seems to
Well,
be a
monitoring-
minute fraction of all the products that are out there.
Well, like monitoring the health of motors and or bridges, or things, motors, vacuum pumps, let's see, what else? Things in
So I know about that kind of stuff. I know, like in manufacturing facilities, sure, that's kind of a given. It's understandable. I
Yeah.
also know cities. I've heard of example for cities using it for in trash cans to determine when the trash can is full and need to be picked up.
Yeah.
Floods, like stuff like that. Water
Floods and
levels.
crypts. Yeah.
But
Floods.
usually those functions are not under the purview of IoT. Yeah, technically they are, but when you think of IoT, you're thinking of someone's Nest thermostat or Alexa or a Google device.
Where's the
You're-
line drawn? Though?
I do
mean,
consider
that-
an internet connected camera an IoT. I mean,
It is-
sorry, internet connected
Oh, yeah.
trash can IoT.
It
Yeah,
is
but-
technically that, but it's under common usage. It's not considered that.
So
Yes.
wait,
I'm
so
just-
you're saying
like-
when
I'm
it's
being
in a usage
pedantic.
that actually makes sense, it's no longer IoT?
Well, yeah, yes and no. Like
It's one of those things.
yeah, so on your pies, are you actually using Raspbian or like a custom build?
Right now we are using Raspbian, but I am going to be building custom builds with one of the other
And
guys
see that
eventually.
right there could and will be one of the differentiators, because Raspbian is getting to the point where you could fully support Raspbian. It's
Yeah.
not like it is
Well, what I'll-
closed system. You have no clue what's going
Yeah.
on. It's an operating system.
So what I'm gonna do eventually going forward is do a very minimal Raspbian using like debootstrap. You know how you can build
Yeah.
a completely cut down Debian install from scratch.
Yeah.
So until we get a faster ARM dev box, I just ordered one of those Odroid N2s, those really fast ones that have like 4 gigs of RAM that hard kernel makes in South Korea. Yeah. So I ordered one of those. So what because ARM supports virtualization extensions now.
Yeah.
So you can run KVM on ARM now. The Raspberry Pi is really weird though, because the video core 4 GPU is pretty much impossible to emulate at this point.
Yeah.
There's an experimental effort in QEMU, but it's pretty shit. I've tried it. It's slow as hell.
Nice.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna emulate the Pi with a different kernel, because all I
Okay.
need to do is check the system, because you can't change root and check if your system D is working. Change root doesn't start the init system.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing where was I going with this? Yeah, so I'm going to be building minimal images, long story short. Yes.
Okay.
Probably using debootstrap and some other things. But yeah, I'm also going to be looking to experiment with ButterFS on the Raspberry Pi to see if we can do file system level like checksumming. I like ZFS.
Yeah.
Wait, are you guys still there? Oh yeah, I thought
Yeah.
you froze for a second.
No,
I
Not
like
you.
I like ZFS, but it's kind of a pain to build a custom kernel, and I don't want an update to break it.
Yeah,
So,
it is. I tried to build a
I'm-
custom kernel on ZFS. I mean, I did, but yeah, it was a major, major pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, like Ubuntu supports it pretty well, but I mean, then again, if there's an update that breaks it, it only takes one accidental press on the developer's end to just like brick your kernel.
And that's the thing, because you are building something that's going out to clients, right?
Yeah, so ButterFS would be what I'd use, because it just
because
works.
you need something that is sustainable, that
Yeah.
is not going to essentially be in an eternal beta.
Mhm.
You need
Well,
something that
ZFS,
is
it's
production
not-
ready.
Well,
And ZFS, like
it
from
technically is more production ready, but not on Linux.
exactly, like ZFS is awesome. Like whenever you
It's
are
on a file server.
whenever you're talking like standard, you're using their builds.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to implement your own builds, have fun.
Yeah, exactly. So what we may have because some industrial customers for good reason are afraid of having things processed in the cloud. So we're trying to move more towards doing some edge computing for some of our customers.
Interesting.
So we may end up having a backup server, and I'm trying to.
I mean, if I were you, I would try to I'd push back on that.
What?
Edge? On the edge versus cloud. I mean, if you have your firewall set up right, if you have everything set up right, like it is my data center versus your data center. There's no difference.
Oh, sure. The thing is, though, well, I don't know how segmented off we would have our customers be, and
that's up to you guys as a company.
And honestly, I'd rather the. I think some of the people in our company would rather have the onus be on of a breach, not be entirely on us. That might.
Well, I mean, but too, that's separate.
Yeah.
You know, from having on-site versus off-site. Off-site, are you still gathering customer information? You know, scrubbing it, whatnot. But actually being able to use that for analytics and being able to make your business better. You know, if it's on site, there's obvious, hurdles that you're going to have to jump over to be able to do that as a company. So, you know, we look at Google, we look at everybody who's big, and they do massive back-end data flows. And, I mean, even the freaking smart televisions we have, smart TVs, I think now costs about the same or less than a standard non-quote-unquote smart television. And the reason for that is the back-end data that they're able to receive in regard to everything that people are watching. But
that's what's reported, but I don't think there's any actual... I mean, that's what a TV executive has claimed. I forget which TV executive it was, I think Vizio. I think they claimed that, but there's no real stats to really back that up. As far as what's on the market, it's not really comparable, at least for the high-end TVs, because there is no dumb high-end TV anymore.
Well, see, I don't make Liz types of money, so I can't afford the high-end TVs that Liz can.
For the mid-end TV, I mean, I really don't know what you're really gauging to be comparable there.
I mean, I live in a 2-bedroom apartment above a liquor store, and I have a
that is so convenient.
I have a CRT tube TV, so you know this is all whiz-bang.
No crap, really?
I got a new TV for my birthday. That's all.
Well, my Nintendo 64 looks really good on my TV, so you know that's
hell yeah, it does. That's what I'm talking about. Like
my old CRT broke.
Yeah, a Nintendo 64 on a CRT. What year is your CRT? Or what brand too?
I don't know because it was it's a really high-end Panasonic set though. It's pre-progressive scan, so it's just composite, and it does have S-video. It has pass-through for the speakers. It has a switch that turns off the internal speakers.
So it doesn't even have like HDMI at all.
Why would it? It's way too old. It doesn't even have progressive scan. It doesn't even have.
Dude, I'm loving this.
It doesn't even have the component video with progressive scan. It's just interlaced.
I remember back in the day, I was so jazzed to get like a 31-inch tube TV.
Yeah, I think that's about how big mine is. I
got this 80. I think this is the 65-inch monstrosity I got in front of me. I think right now.
You know what you really need to get? You need to get like a 50, 60-inch, tube, and play N64 Bond 007 on it, and
I actually don't have GoldenEye, but I have Smash and a bunch of others.
No.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I don't
Adrian,
have GoldenEye.
Immediately, can you kick him off?
Kick him off?
My
I've played GoldenEye at a friend's house. I have played it at my friend's house, and it is a great game.
I
do have Perfect Dark. I have Perfect Dark, which is like
I don't care. Don't care. If you don't do GoldenEye on an N64, nope.
Oh,
don't care.
Perfect Dark came later. It's basically made by the same people, and it's basically the same game, but a little improved.
Hey, no, GoldenEye.
I mean, we're talking about rarities. My wife has a copy of Conker's Bad Fur Day. So
I'm jealous.
Oh yeah.
I do have a I have a Chinese.
Wait a minute, you trying to say that game's rare?
What? Yeah, Conker's Bad Fur Day is incredibly rare because it came out. Well, no, it's not that rare, but it came out at the end of the N64's lifespan, and a lot of people want it. So the demand is really high.
Oh, so that Oh well, that means my friends on a shit ton.
Hey, yeah, Jack's over here like, oh yeah, I'm
A
buying a
loose
new
copy of that game
house.
probably is worth about $100.
No,
at
it's
this
not.
point.
It's not me. No, my one of a guy that I went to college with. He got in on the collecting of systems really early on, and I just thought I just didn't think nothing about it. So
Nice. Dude, I have a buddy who has I think every single game outside of the stand-up games in the arcade, whatever they're called, like every game since like 1975.
oh, so he doesn't have a cabinet?
No, like yeah, he doesn't do like the stand-up arcade games, but anything that is console based, in any way, he has it. Like everything, even the Japanese versions
Does
that
he have a ColecoVision?
Probably.
I'm sure.
Probably those can be had for very cheap. I mean,
Yeah,
Oh
like
yeah, you're right.
everything. I mean, I went to his house one time. It's just like he has an entire room completely, all four walls, like
And
completely
he's not on
filled.
YouTube. He doesn't have a YouTube channel.
Actually, I don't know. I have to check. He does have a gaming podcast, but I'm not sure if he has a YouTube channel or not. Because he doesn't like advertise it hardly any. But it's just like holy crap. And then like any console, he has 5 or 6 of them. It's not like he has one or two consoles. Like every freaking console over the last 30 plus years.
Wait,
I mean, he has multiples of all of them.
Does he have the Pikachu N64?
I'm guarantee he does.
Those are worth a shit ton of money.
Yeah, like he has everything.
Like third money.
Like, and I'm not a gamer. I used to play Counter-Strike, stuff like that, like 15 years ago. I'm not a gamer anymore.
I'm not anymore either.
Like, I got married and have a kid and another one coming, and there's just, yeah, other things take priorities for me.
Oh, sure.
But he still has some accessibility, and he makes pretty good money. And yeah,
of course, yeah.
eBay, Amazon, wherever he finds it.
Is he single still, or is he?
No, he is married. But
how does she feel about that?
I don't know. We're not really discussing that all that much. But but yeah, and two, he's like I'm 39. He is probably about 5-6 years younger than me, and even at that point, I think that's old. Even with I have a kid on the way. But he's like 34, 35, somewhere in that range. But his dad worked within I don't know if it's the gaming industry, but I know his dad worked within electronics and tech.
Mm-hmm.
But he just at a very, very young age just started collecting and kept collecting. And man, I tell you what, it's nuts. You walk in that room, it's like, holy crap, like it would take me 20 years to play through all this stuff you haven't. I mean, granted, I know you can play through all this stuff in a year. It would take me 20 years.
Yeah.
Just because I suck at video games, so.
What happened to me is I never really played single player games very much. I'd always get bored. See, what happened is when I would my parents, so I'm not that old, so my parents had the choice. Well, they're like, well, we have about $200 to spend. We can either go buy like, our son a GameCube with like one game, or we can buy a used N64 with a shit ton of games and every kind of novelty controller you can think of for like the same price. So they did the latter.
And again, if we can kick you off, we're going to do it immediately because you don't have GoldenEye. Come on. Really? Come on.
It's on my list.
Do you know how many people's school careers were ruined? I know mine was because of GoldenEye.
I mean, that's the entire reason why Jack was in the army. and
No,
you know,
no, that was not the reason.
and couldn't make Navy.
Shit, I'll buy this now. Wait, how much? Oh, you can have one for like, you can have it for freaking $20-ish.
Yes, go do it.
I better buy one.
And we may let you back on here again.
Wait.
We'll see.
No, I've needed to have it. Let's see. All right, let's
Hey, so you're married?
no. I am
Oh.
enjoying the single life. I just moved out of my parents' house like 3.5 weeks ago. For like the first time for my new job.
I thought you said something about having a kid. So.
No. No, but like I am enjoying. See, when you don't live at your parents' house. So my parents, like their house isn't like small or anything. Like it's a 4-bedroom house, but it's like from like the 50s or something, and like the hallways are narrow and stuff. So I'd be in the basement doing stuff, but like they'd always be on opposite ends of the house, and they'd be stomping around, right? And they like when someone would need to talk to the other one, they just holler across the house, and they're like, "Hi," and I'd be like, I'd just be stewing downstairs, unable to do anything, and I have so much less, like, I don't know, I'm just so much more relaxed now. I have a place to myself. Like it's so good.
I can see that. Whenever I first moved down my parents' house, let's see, I moved into dorms first, and then I moved into an apartment. But I always had a roommate of some sort. But once it gets to like a roommate side, yeah, you definitely still have a lot more privacy. If you live single, no roommate, then obviously you have a boatload of privacy.
I just shipped GoldenEye to my parents' house. Damn it. Haven't changed my eBay address.
This is why you do not drink while you were on the podcast.
I am not drunk. I haven't had a single sip since I moved above the liquor store. Funny enough. I've been too busy.
That is funny.
Does that mean I'm not a real hacker? No.
All depends on the person. But yeah, you definitely have a lot more privacy once you are out on your own. But in the same sense, so how old are you? Early 20s, maybe?
23.
Okay. So you're getting adjusted to doing taxes and all that fun stuff.
Ever since I became an adult with like a job, I've always just done my own, like on my own household.
So whenever you were 22.
No, I've had a real job for a decent amount of time, because I think I got my first real job like 2 or 3 years ago.
Nice.
But I mean, I've been doing, like, I did software engineering. I was a software engineer doing backend code for a website. Like it was Mod Perl, and I did that for like a year. Apache Mod Perl.
And we're not mentioning the websites. Whatever you previously heard in the last 10 seconds, like that was just some website out there that we mentioned.
Right. It's just a website. No, it's not one of the websites you mentioned. But yeah. And then I bounced around a little bit. I've done some DevOps work, a little bit of which it's easy, but I didn't really like it. And then I did some cloud. I was like a cloud analyst or something.
Yeah.
Didn't really like that either. It's for a very large company. That shall not be named.
Exactly. There, you're getting it.
If I don't name them, I can disparage them. You see, but
yes.
if and just in case there's some non-disparagement agreement that I didn't read.
Yes.
Even if you're going to a new company, new companies also don't like to hear potential employees bad-mouthing their previous company, because they tend to think, what if they do the same thing to us?
Well,
no, that you will do the same thing.
Well, yes. Okay, maybe wrong. Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I try to be tactful in these things. I occasionally do dumb stuff, but I'm pretty tactful as far as like how I don't like to
present. Yes.
Yeah.
And two, whether or not you have done contracting work, you can always say something was in regard to one of your contracts.
Yeah.
When speaking to previous companies.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep.
Yeah, luckily now so my first real job that I had for a year as a software engineer, it was salaried with benefits. And then the the few jobs in between that were all contracts. And I finally am back at a full-time salaried position again. And it's so nice and it's a job I actually really like because I'm playing with these little computers and stuff. And it's like awesome. I mean, I like work near, adjacent to like electrical and mechanical engineers and all these like people that are like really smart, and I feel, it's fun. It's fun.
And see, that's the thing, because I've been in that same role in the past, and the engineers, honestly, even, which I hate to say, and I'm to the point I don't care. So yeah, I'll still say it. Network admins, systems admins, I align more from a security perspective with the engineers than I did anyone else in the standard IT functionality.
Sure.
The engineers,
especially electrical engineers.
Yeah,
electrical engineers, they're bright and they know computers too. They're not dumb about computers either.
Yeah,
because they took lots of the same classes as a computer scientist. It's just
exactly.
and
Two, they
know how things work.
Yeah, like electrical engineers and whatnot, like they respect as long as you are not a 1,000% introvert, and actually talk. Like once you start speaking, they realize, holy crap, like you are on the same level as me. Like it's fun having conversations with them, and you'll find you build friendships with them, and they're really cool people to interact with. They're because security people for the most part, we come up with ideas. We, you know, um, intrinsically like look for problems. Like we are the bad guys who decided to go straight. We look for ways to break into shit like constantly, and they do the same type of thing on their end, engineering side. And once you actually start talking to them, there's just kind of that camaraderie with them. Yeah, it's cool being able to see that in different. They are not in IT. I mean, and honestly, holy crap, really? Hey, Bill. But they're not in IT, but they really have a respect for the stuff that we do. And and a lot of the time they won't say that, but once you get to know them, they really have a respect. And in the same fashion, I have a big respect for what they do.
Oh yeah.
But we are both kind of on the same plane, and it's really cool.
Yeah, the electrical engineers I work with, because they're doing industrial equipment, they're not just doing digital stuff. They're doing like, power stuff and like some of this crazy analog stuff that just takes an insane amount of math and like, thinking.
Yeah. And that's the same type of stuff we do,
Yeah.
And to like I relate with a lot of different groups, even down to freaking and I am sorry if anybody just heard me say that. Even auto mechanics, where a lot of people would discount auto mechanics and think it is something lesser. Like auto mechanics, at least in this day and age, there's a shit ton of stuff within cars, and I mean, even
diagnosing and troubleshooting. I mean,
and even like now, it is so much easier to diagnose stuff than back in the day. We didn't have all these, 175, 200 freaking sensors on a car. It was way harder. And granted, I work on the vast majority of my own stuff, but I definitely see,
freaked out.
Yeah. And one O2 sensor goes out and it has 5 other errors, that come up that do not refer to the O2 sensor.
Yeah, I love that. That's so thank you for putting computers in things. Yeah.
Exactly. It makes everyone's life so much easier.
Oh yes. Put them everywhere. Just put them in like the seat, like I think Mercedes, they probably have them in the seat somehow. Like, I bet.
Probably. And with Mercedes, it probably comes up and says at some point, hey, fat ass, you you really need to get back on the treadmill and quit sitting on me so much.
A lot of cars do that because they have the passenger airbag detection, so it sees if someone's sitting there or not based upon the weight and.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, it's so funny what Mercedes has become because I have one of their old turbo diesels from 1984, and it's like the complete opposite of a modern Mercedes in almost every way, except for the fact that it was one of the first cars to have anti-lock brakes, but it was like a mechanical system, and it actually still works.
Wait, so you have dive into that just a little bit. You have a 84 Mercedes?
Turbo diesel, 300 CD.
Really?
It's really rusty. The control arm needs replacing. So right now, I actually
rust does not matter for the vast majority of cars. Who cares?
Well, this one got in an accident from the last owner,
Yeah.
and the ball joint and the control arm were screwed. So when we were hammering out the control arm, the torsion bar snapped in half due to rust. So yeah, and the torsion bar is not in a way that you can remove it easily. So it's going to require some welding. So either I have to buy a torch and weld it at my parents' house badly, or I have to tow it here and have one of the guys with the that knows how to use the plasma or welder, whatever welder we have here. We have so many welders here. We actually do manufacturing here.
Yeah.
Either I have to bring it here, pay for a tow here, and have someone help me with it, or I'll have to badly weld it at my house.
Nice.
I would. Well, I mean, if it was me, I would pay for the tow because there was plenty of times at one of my jobs where it was just a bunch of mechanics, and it was like, just go to
buy me some beer or something, and I'll help you. Yeah.
No, just go to AutoZone. Give me $40, and come back an hour.
Yeah, so that it's gonna be fun to move it because right now the control arm's like half off. It's not really easy to put back together, so it'll be a challenge getting it on the flatbed or whatever.
Is it road legal?
Not without torsion or the stabilizer bar.
Not with a wheel missing. But
is it legal to be on the road? I'm just saying. Is it registered and all that fun stuff?
I think I turned in the tags, but I have the title. It was historic, but I turned in the tags because I didn't want to pay for insurance while it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Okay. So even if it was mechanically sound, you couldn't drive on the road legally.
Not right now. However, you wouldn't really want to because I moved from Southern Maryland to a ways away, right?
Dude,
what B-sides I'm going to. So I'm going to.
Yeah, like if you need to get out of Maryland if you want to do gun stuff.
Well, okay.
Side topic.
what I'm talking about here is if you had AAA, they will tow it to you as long as.
I have the classic plan. It's still
if it's not road legal, they won't. I found that problem myself.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that means dang it.
Or if it's at a mechanics and let's just say it's like too expensive to fix, and if you call AAA to have them tow it away, they won't.
Huh? Because for scrapping.
Because it's somewhere where it can be repaired.
An engine that blew up for me. I had a in 1986. No, not 1986. Why did I say that? No, I had a 1996. Right, 1996 Corolla. I had 325,000 miles on it.
I bet you did.
And I was driving it back from a friend's house, and just the engine block just broke. I mean, it just leaked oil everywhere, and
it detonated. Yeah.
I'm taking over this podcast.
Hey, it's our favorite West Virginian, right?
Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah.
I wanted to say hello. I happened across the podcast. I need to go regrade, but what's up, everybody?
Bill, you go to a lot of wine and cheese types of events, and I love the bow tie.
Oh, yeah. I just got back from a wine event, as a matter of fact.
Yeah?
It looked like Aid started a day earlier than I thought it was going to start.
I'm sorry. It's really messed up. They changed. We changed everything around, and it just wasn't a sort of a venue that was easy to film in. So. Yeah. We wanted to try it out first before we invited you back. Venue's okay. Venue's okay. I think we got it worked out. But we'll do it again next year.
Cool.
I can crash on your couch next year.
We actually have a new couch. I don't think you'll fit.
Wait,
Ooh.
Adrian.
We'll get
Adrian,
you-
where are you staying for the for Charm?
Whatever hotel that got me. I'm assuming.
Well,
Charm is
you
that.
know, I am in the Baltimore area. Just saying.
All right, thanks. They already got me a hotel though. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, they already got you one. Okay.
Adrian, when you come back next year, we'll get you a hotel room.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, yeah.
We're rich.
Well, I figured
Rich.
I figured Blair could be the smallest spoon, you'd be the middle spoon, I'd be the large spoon.
we did that the last time.
That's called forking.
I want to mix it up this time around.
All right.
Anyway, gentlemen, I'll let you go. I wanted to say hello, and I've now got to go grade.
Hey, we love seeing you on.
I need to talk later on about the academic lifestyle because, well,
Heck yeah.
Well,
It's an alternative lifestyle. It's a lifestyle choice.
yeah, it's like swinging.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta go.
Hey,
I'll
Bill.
talk to- yeah,
Bill. Try to show up a little bit more.
I will. I will.
Good,
My
good.
life's getting a little bit less hectic because the semester's almost over.
Nice. Good.
Anyway, peace. Mic drop. See you later.
Later.
Bye bye.
Have fun, man.
So,
But-
what happened to that Caprico guy?
He he found a job and
Oh.
he's been working, unfortunately. And we're
That's
all
so
going to
unfortunate.
mug him once we see him next
But
because
gotta be
he's
careful. A lot
been
of
working so much.
grand total mass. He's got reach on us all.
I mean, there are these things called. Nah, I won't go there. But there are things that can extend a reach past a straight arm.
Yeah, I think the natives called them boomsticks, right?
Yeah, sure. We'll go down the boomstick line.
I mean, you can take some bolos, like what do they call those Mexican cowboys that had the bolos? What's a term for those guys?
That were Mexican?
There's one term for a Mexican cowboy, and I'm known for like having those bolos that swing around an animal's legs and they trip them up.
You're like
Oh.
rancheros?
Rancheros, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I damn well
They're
should know that.
caballeros.
Dare knows about that, yeah.
There's a song that Donald Duck and a couple other birds sang in one of the Disney movies. I want to say, "If we caballeros, we gay caballeros, but the birds." You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Man, now I have to visit my parents' house again. I'm still mad about that.
Yeah, I'm sitting here shopping for pop-up tents that are easy to deploy, but don't take a lot of space. It seems like the faster they are to deploy, the more space they take. And quite frankly, I don't want to go on another death march like Mary took us on last year.
Okay, we get it. But too, in the same sense, she needs to come up with a date that is not 4th of July. Because I will not be there.
Oh, to catch Tucks up on this, every year Mary has an event called Hackers on a Farm. We go out there, we give her like a couple $100 to buy meat, and she kills it and cooks it there.
Oh,
and
what state is this in?
Indiana.
Yeah, I probably won't be headed that way. When is it? July, you said?
We don't know. It's still kind of up in the air. Right now, it sounded like July 4th weekend, whatever that lands on, but hopefully not because I have obligations on July 4th weekend.
If I can get my my Mercedes fixed by then, you'd make it out there.
Heck yeah. May not make it back, but you could at least get there.
Oh, we also got shooting.
Totally make it both ways.
And soon have financial stuff. I want to get me something that shoots 308. I'm still debating if I want to spend a lot of money and get me an M14 or if I want to spend less money. And there's a fairly inexpensive DPMS Arms AR-10 that is still well reviewed, but it is still a budget gun. I'm debating about getting it.
Are you bigger on the single shot versus semi-auto?
Oh,
I wanted semi-auto, but I know you're going to recommend a bolt action to me.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
between those two, I would say DPMS.
I'm a gun noob. Explain the pros and cons here.
I mean, for me, there is not a lot of difference between, at least from my perspective, whenever you're talking the higher caliber stuff, between 308 or between bolt action and semi-auto. Just because to regain line of sight, I I can shoot both
Yeah.
at about the exact same rate.
With the semi-auto, each time you pull the trigger, you get 1 round out. With the bolt action, well, first you have to crap. You have to. Damn, I'm not thinking the right term. Rack the slide is not the right term because I'm thinking pistols.
I mean, it's close enough.
Cycle the bolt.
Put the first round in, but then each trigger pull, you get 1 shot out. Bolt action. You ever seen those movies where people are operating someone on top of the gun between each shot?
Yeah. No, it's just I'm talking about. So like regaining your line of sight. Is that because it has a kick to it, or is that?
Yes.
Yeah, a 308 is not quite as powerful as a 306, 306, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, 306 is based on it, but it's a little bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty still a lot more powerful than like an AR-15's
yes
5.56 NATO.
Yeah.
Arguably, yes.
Yeah, like a 5.56, I can come very close to keeping line of sight on all the way through with rapid fire, but a 308, I have to realign.
I've also been looking like some I saw this pretty purple pistol. You know what? I found out I got that G2C.
Come back. What purple pistol are you so excited about?
Oh, the G2C, but I already have a G2C in black, so you know.
But you got excited about a purple pistol.
Yes, it's pretty purple.
I can get down with that. Purple pistol.
So I may get another handgun instead, but you know. We go out there and people I bring out my AR-15. Someone else brings out their AR-15. I bring out my AK. Got a couple shotguns. Got a KSG. Got all sorts of handguns.
So it's like I'll show you mine if you show me yours first.
No, Adrian does not care if you show yours first. Adrian will show you his. Yes.
Whip it right out there. He'll just show you all his equipment.
Yes.
I still have like 2,500 rounds of 12-gauge shotgun shells laying around here because of my uncle.
Good. Let's go through all of them.
All right. I have kind of traumatic memories from a shotgun because someone had one of those side saddles on it, and I'm left-handed, and it hit me in the face, and now I close my eyes right as I'm about to pull the trigger every time.
Now, have you ever tried shooting right-handed? I mean, because like me, I'm a righty, but I also train to shoot left-handed pistol and other weapons. You know,
in case
shotgun
like, your arm gets like shot or chopped off.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. If I'm going to go around a corner that's on the left side, I'm not going to come out, holding right side and try to come all the way out and shoot right-handed. I'm going to shoot left side and still keep that barrier there. So, have you ever considered trying to shoot multi-hand?
I haven't, but that'd be interesting. I probably wouldn't be too difficult. I mean, because lefties are usually more ambidextrous, anyways. But
yeah, that's what I've heard. So, like, I would definitely encourage, going down that road and seeing if you can and try to train to shoot right-handed too, because there's different situations. Like I said, with corners and whatnot, you definitely want to be able to shoot ambidextrous. So, yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, but that some guy just had he was letting me shoot his shotgun, and he had like one of those side saddles for the bullets,
Yeah.
And it like hit me in the face.
Yep.
Right in the teeth.
Yep.
And I'm going to shoot it, and like now I kind of hesitate when I shoot now with the shotgun because of that semi-traumatic event.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. Yeah, it's definitely going to affect you, but the more that you train, the more that you shoot, like that backs off, and you won't ever have any of that as long as you train and shoot more.
Yeah, hopefully I can keep my eyes open while I shoot at those clay pigeon thingies.
Keeping your eyes open is definitely a good thing. That's one of the very first things I would advise.
I do know how to use
don't shut your
sight,
eyes.
So I'm not that much of a noob. I can aim okay.
Good.
Yeah. I was a Boy Scout, and I did go to the range a few times also with the little crappy 22s.
Nice. Yeah, like even my like the AR I have, I do a scope on top, and then I 45 degree off my iron sights. So my scope is I think 300 yards somewhere in there, and then iron sights. Anything closer, I use that. So I can take the gun 45 degrees and be able to iron sight and as much as I want. For closer range.
That's cool. That's it's a rifle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. It's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything else for tonight? Because we are hitting 10 o'clock right now, and we can go ahead and take it offline and have fun afterward.
The after party.
There you go. Adrian.
Adrian didn't even comment about the after party.
Adrian. Okay. So we're live for a few more minutes.
Oh, because he's right. He's the host.
Yeah. At least, though, we are not live with Adrian's cam on in a bathroom or anything. So, I mean, that's always a positive note.
We have seen Adrian in some compromise. No, not compromise.
Nearly.
Nearly compromising.
Not compromising, but nearly. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Adrian, not Christian. Which I'm sure maybe two of you would get the reference.
No, I got it. My wife follows that saga. I don't know why. But
Really?
Yeah, she does.
Which parts of it? Because there's a freaking encyclopedia.
You talking about Christians, though?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a literal one, to be entirely honest. He's probably the single most stalked person on the internet. Yes.
No, you haven't heard of Dragon Lord. He's the actual most stalked person on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, at face value, I would really doubt that when we have knowledge of nearly everything Christian eats for breakfast.
That's his
on
own
the wiki.
Doing. That guy posts everything.
But, so Christian constantly talks about himself, and then people just catalog everything. So he's for those who don't know, he's very well known for being a very
documented person on the internet. I wouldn't say he's the most stalked person on the internet.
Well, okay, I can accept that.
I think that award would have to go to Dragon Lord. If you don't know who that is, he's the German guy who was like fight me in real life, and then he gave his address, and then people showed up, but they started.
I know
for internet trolls. Like they just.
I know multiple people who fall under that banner, so that's not specific enough for me.
Question.
Yeah, Dragon Lord's in Germany, and he is the German Chris Chan.
Do you know about Chris Chan and the piercing?
No.
God, please no.
That's a new one.
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
I'm sure my wife
Is
does
that,
again.
Is that pre or post? Is that pre or post? His transition.
It was post.
Her transition. Sorry.
Okay.
Maybe we should go offline at this point. Yes. We're gonna stop the broadcast and we'll hang out on the hangout for a little while longer.
Yes. We're getting a little too spicy with these memes.
We're also probably going to cast tomorrow at about 7 o'clock. That's kind of an impromptu one covering culture issues. But hopefully I'll catch y'all not tomorrow.
Culture cast number 572.
As in like culture with what it pertains to the hacker community, or like
something like that, because someone made a video and it features 3 people from this cast.
Oh.
Yes.
I see.
I've been tempted to go back on Twitter to call him out, but I just think that would accomplish nothing other than informing maybe 5 people who followed me about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, catch y'all next Wednesday, 11 else, or maybe tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. I'm going offline. Thanks for joining us, and see you soon.
Yep. Thank you, everyone.